Good morning, evening, or afternoon. What's up, everybody, and welcome to the XP Podcast, episode 21 for the third week of August 2022. I'm one of your hosts, Mike Z, and joining me, as always, my co-host, the Birdman himself, Logan B. What's going on, man?
What is up, everybody? Yeah, I'm excited to be here again. If you guys haven't already, we did actually just recently post, well, not me, but Mike and DJ came out with a review for Stray. So if you want to go check that out, we could probably put a link down below for that if you'd like. Um, and that exciting news. We have some Call of Duty news to talk about today. We have a Sony PC launcher? Okay. But yeah, I'm ready to get into it. I'm excited to talk about all these things. Yeah, let's get right in.
How's your week been, man? Anything you doing anything cool?
Um, not a lot. Went to the winery yesterday. That was kind of fun. Um, Other than that, no, just been a pretty chill week playing games, trying to beat a certain game we talked about last week. But I'll get more deep into that when we get to about what we've been doing for the past week. So.
Well, for those of you out there that listen to us that care, Logan knows this. I got the old COVID, which I thought was sweet redemption, considering last week we talked about how it was essentially over and civilization had moved on. So of course I came down with it. I'm all good now. Still a little lethargic and tired from it, but we're gonna push on through this. Like always, we begin the episode with the question of the week, and this one is a surprise for Mr. Logan. I wanted to keep it in my pocket so he didn't know what was going on. This connects to some news stories and happenings and rumblings out there about some of the new Pac-Man stuff coming on, being as there's a new game coming out this week, and there's a rumored live-action Pac-Man movie, which was confusing to me and got me thinking about the character of Pac-Man and thinking about him as a character, which is also weird. So the simple question I wanted to pose to you, Mr. Birdman, is does Pac-Man bleed?
Um, no, I don't think so. I
You
don't.
don't think
I
Pac-Man
wouldn't
bleeds? He's
think
got
so. I think
eyes.
more. Yeah, he has eyes, but he seems like what he's built out of. If we're gonna go off of classic, and yes, I know we have a 3D version of him now. I would have to say that I think that he is more just pixelated. So he's made from pixels. I don't know if he's a coded entity or, something like that. But the way that he dies in the original Pac-Man game, he just kind of collapses into himself. So I think he's all in one. Like he's kind of like a vase jar. Like if you hit it over, it's just gonna break into a bunch of pieces. I don't think there's actually anything inside of him liquid in any form. So that's in my opinion, I don't think he does bleed. No.
I think he does bleed. I think what we don't see is the battle scars after he's done eating up all the Goombas. Not the Goombas, that's Mario. What the hell are Pac-Man people called?
Ghosts? Yeah, the
Ghosts?
ghosts. Yeah.
The ghost? Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think they're just ghosts. Yeah.
After he gets done fighting all the ghosts, I just imagine him with like, coming out of a mixed martial arts fight, just black and bloodied and bruised. And that's how I imagine him. But it got me thinking, like, it's weird to think of Pac-Man as a character, right? Like he is a character.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, he's got a wife, he's got a kid, he's a full-on character, and I kept trying to wrap my head around that. Well, honestly, just today, this is something that I heard earlier today, and it's like that's weird, right? Because like John has eyes sometimes, he has a mouth, he has arms and feet sometimes, and that's just it's just weird for me to think about Pac-Man as like an actual like character in the same vein as like Mario or something along those lines of being a simplified character, not like Joel or anything from The Last of Us or like Master Chief, but like yeah, this dude's got a life. He's just out there fighting off ghosts for endless eternities. I don't know. Food for thought, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of where I was trying to get at. I was like, let me see if I can reach for something interesting. So you think he doesn't bleed? You think he just evaporates into nothing like Voldemort?
Yeah, no, that's how I believe how it goes. I'm trying to think of anything else I can really think of that's kind of like that. Yeah, I don't
Voldemort.
know.
Voldemort never
Well, yeah, I
bled
guess
once.
Voldemort. That's true.
Pac-Man is Voldemort.
Confirmed. We put it
Well,
in the picture for this video. We just have a
yeah.
little Voldemort on the side, confirmed as Pac-Man.
Uh, since we haven't got to it the past couple weeks, what do you think about a Pac-Man live action movie? We may not even get to it this week, but we'll see. We'll jump in right here and put it right here. What do you think about the possibility of Pac-Man in live action and what that could entail?
Uh, I really don't know how they're gonna do it. Like, I don't know. When I think Pac-Man, I've never thought of like, oh, there's that one villain. Who is the main villain of Pac-Man other than just the ghosts? You know? Like I don't know how they're gonna make a live action movie out of it because like Sonic has that villain. He
Oh
has
yeah,
the
he
villain.
has multiple
He has a
iconic villains. Yeah,
whole story and everything. Yeah, but like Pac-Man has nothing. And I don't know. I haven't played their 3D game, so maybe there's actually a villain in there. But I don't know how they're gonna make a movie out of this. Like I don't know how. Like I just don't know. It's weird.
what if we're thinking about this in too big a terms and the villains just are those little dots, which is why he's going around and eating them? I guess the stars, because he eats the stars. Yeah. Or maybe Pac-Man's the villain and the ghosts are just trying to live their life and Pac-Man just eats them up. Maybe Pac-Man's the real villain. Maybe he is Voldemort. Yeah, maybe we're just confirming our suspicions here.
Should have known Pac-Man was the one that, made the scar on Harry Potter's face.
Little bastard.
Honestly.
Alright, let's move on. I think Pac-Man bleeds.
I'm gonna say not.
He's bloody and gory, like a boxer of old, like Mike Tyson. If you didn't know, ladies and gentlemen, this is the XP Podcast, our weekly video game and pop culture news podcast, where Logan and myself sit down with y'all and talk about all the news stories and happenings inside and out of the video game world. We post a new episode each and every week, so you can listen to it whenever you desire. You can find us on most of the popular podcasting services, including Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more. If you enjoy what we're doing here, please support us over on our Patreon, where you can be a part of our weekly discussions and give us your opinions on everything we talk about and everything we don't. You'll also be able to find all of our uploads there, as well with, oh my god, you'll also be able to find all of our uploads there as well, along with any exclusive episodes we may post. Links for that, as always, are in the description down below, or you can simply go to patreon.com and search Experience Point, spelled capital X, capital P, ERIENCEPOINT. However, don't worry if you don't have any money to send our way. We still love and appreciate you for listening to us and being a part of what is hopefully a growing community. You can also go over to our YouTube channel where you can get this show and all of our shows in video format. If you do, please don't forget to give us a like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification icon so you can be aware of everything we post when we post it. New episode reminders for you. Like Logan said at the top of this show, DJ and I have sat down and talked all about Stray and given you our review and spoiler cast. So go over and enjoy that episode if you will. If you want to hear our opinions on Cult of the Lamb, the other new game that we talk about, it is in episode 19 of the XP podcast. Please go over and give that. Wait, is it in 20 or 19? I think it's in 20. It was the last one we did, right?
Yeah, it's 20.
Okay, sorry. Go over to episode 20, watch that, come back and listen to us here. With all that out of the way, let's get into this week's show. In the news this week, we're talking about is Sony working on a PC launcher, the Modern Warfare 2 campaign launching early, Embracer seems to be buying everything, and so much more. But before we get to all that, it's time for What You Been Doing, where we catch up on all things pop culture that we've been doing, whether that be gaming, TV shows, movies, books, or comics. It doesn't matter to us because we're nerds and we enjoy it all. With that out of the way, Logan, my man, what, sir, have you been doing?
Well, for the last week, if you listen to episode 20, um, I have been playing Cult of the Lamb. Really, really enjoying it a lot. Um, Sorry, I'm eating. um, but yeah, I've been playing a lot of Cult of the Lamb. It's been really good. I'm about halfway still through the game. I didn't put a ton of time into it this week, but the little bit I have played, I am on the third of the four or five, I guess. Um, and yeah, I mean it's getting really, really good. I definitely have already almost maxed out everything, and I'm only on like the third boss. Like I've been kind of having a problem where I'll go back to the village and then I'll get stuck there for an insane amount of time because I literally put a little bit too much time into my followers and doing all their missions, and I get stuck there and I constantly get more and more missions and more things I want to do. Or I'll go to the dock and I'll start fishing and I'm like, oh man, I already put like 20 minutes into fishing, like I probably should stop and actually get back into the game again. Um but it's been awesome though. I really love that because it's great that like it has really fun side things to do. Like I'm kind of getting lost in all the side stuff and actually haven't been doing a ton of the main stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited to officially beat it. Hopefully within this week, I'll probably hopefully get it completely finished by this week. But a certain other game is coming out this week that I will be getting into too. That you'll probably hear my opinion on next weekend. I'll keep that a secret, but I'm very excited for that to come out.
Have you done the
Let's see.
Darkness quest yet? Have you completed the Darkness quest?
No, I've been trying to find where those are. Don't
So,
tell me.
I'm not gonna
I'm
tell
gonna
you. I
find them
mean,
myself.
okay, I was gonna say, okay, I'll give you a hint. Look for a purple moon at night,
Okay. Okay.
in
Is it
the
always at the same place or is it in different places?
no,
That's not much of a spoiler.
there's one in each of the areas you unlock post the initial one.
Okay.
Which, if
Okay.
you've only got through three of the four, you haven't even unlocked all of the areas you can visit. So, but there's one in each. There's
I did just unlock a smuggler one. So that's the most recent one I've just unlocked.
Yeah, because to unlock all
But
the areas, you really need to beat a biome and then go back through it again, and you'll meet the character that you need to unlock
yeah,
the the new area or the new place you can visit. So, but yeah, so look for the purple moon. That's what I'll tell you.
I actually think I know now where the second location is because of the new place I unlocked. So I'll have to check that out when I play next. But yeah, I mean, the game is super good. If you guys, again, want to hear our even more deep opinion about it and pretty much a review, listen to episode 20. We have like a 40-minute talk about what we thought, what's bad and good. I will add one thing that's been really annoying, and it's been happening like almost every other time now I play the game, is I'll be on a run. I'll be doing. I guess I'm doing a run is what I'm gonna call it. I go into one of the biomes. I start fighting. I have like, and it always seems to happen when I'm like really stacked. Like I have a ton of hearts. I have a really good weapon. Everything's good, and then I go into the room, and then it glitches out and it gets stuck on this black screen where it's like the transition screen or whatever. It just gets stuck on it. Like it literally something happens and then I can't get out of it. And there's no way to save and start where I left off. No, you have to quit and you have to restart the entire run all over again because the game just decided, oh, I couldn't load it fast enough. So that's been happening quite a bit recently, and it's been really frustrating because like that's a really annoying glitch. Like I could pass on the stupid, path glitch, but this is frustrating because I'll like get almost to the boss, and then I'll go through this one of the transition doors. I'll go through it, and then the game just breaks. And I don't know if it's because I'm rolling through it or what, but like I like to roll around. So sometimes I roll through the door to go to the next area, and it just breaks. So that's been kind of another annoying glitch I've ran into while playing the game, and it's been happening like every other time now,
Yeah,
and it's very really frustrating.
as I've been playing it more after the as I've gotten into some of the end game content more, I'm really just trying to knock out that platinum so I can move on. I have been running into for reasons unbeknownst to me more glitches than the main game. Like something very similar happened to me. I was on a great run. I was in the last biome. I had the god weapon. I had everything fully leveled up, and one of the things you got to do is you got to go back through the first section of each biome to get um, like this piece that you unlock. That's how you unlock the different cloaks. I always forget what they're called. Um, the the fucking things you wear. But I was essentially made in the shade. I had a whole bunch of leveled up. I was strong, and I got into one of the rooms and I killed all the enemies, but one enemy glitched and just got stuck in place, and it doesn't matter how many times I hit him or whatever, he wouldn't die. So I couldn't leave the room. And
Wow.
it ruined my whole run 2 rooms before the boss.
Ugh.
And since then I haven't gone back to play that cuz I was like, dude, the RNG was in my favor. I got the godly sword, so it wasn't even the dagger, and it says I was getting good uh tarot cards and everything was working great. I'm like, "God, I'm gonna knock out this trophy right here, right now, and then all I gotta do is focus on collecting all the different follower forms, which I only need 5 more, and then beat the last 2 bosses without getting hit, and then I'm done. The platinum's over." But that little glitch, I think, happened on Tuesday night or Wednesday night, one of the two, after we recorded last episode, and I haven't gone back to it since because of that. That glitch annoyed me so bad because I'm like, dude, I was fucking there. I had it. All I had to do was beat the boss pretty much, and the game was like, just kidding. So yeah, it's I don't really know why the glitches have started showing up and popping up more and more now. I remember last week you talked about some of the ritual glitches, and that one happened to me. Granted, I was able to get around it, but it's still just like, why is more stuff happen now that I've beaten? It's like the longer I play the game, the more things happen. It's confusing to me, but it doesn't really take away from my enjoyment. I mean, I've beaten the game, so my enjoyment's there, and it is what it is. It's just some of the after story or end game content that can be a little annoying in the grind to the platinum. But you don't care about the platinum, so you're not going to experience some of that stuff. But so yeah, I just wanted to throw in my problems with it. Not really problems, just annoyances with it. Sorry to interrupt. Anything else?
Oh yes. All right. I've been playing more Two Point Campus, also on the side. I like to take breaks between Call of the Land because yeah, sometimes I have those really annoying glitches where I'm literally about to go into the boss room and then it just breaks. So when that happens, I just switch over and I play more Two Point Campus. Still insanely good. I just learned from my brother's wife actually yesterday. She's been playing it too, and she told me that there's even more places than I expected in the game. So, because at the beginning, when you start off, it gives you 4 different schools you go to, and then when you get to the third school, all of a sudden it adds another 4 more schools. And supposedly, where she is, it's already up to 9 different schools. You have to go through and get like 3 stars on. Like you only have to get 1 star to move on to the next one, but you can get 3 stars on every school. And there's like different challenges, and each one unlocks a new classroom, new just a bunch of new stuff. Like I mean, constantly when you're playing this game, you're constantly unlocking new stuff, like new objects, new things that your employees can do. It's super cool. I haven't gotten as deep as I have with Call of the Lamb this week. I played a lot more of that than I had played Two Point. Um, but still really enjoying it. Like right now, I'm on the fourth school, and it's with knights, and it's super fun and challenging. because I'm trying to not have my students fail or drop out, and it's pretty hard because like certain class types have harder difficulties on when it comes to if they pass or fail. And so there's kind of a big challenge because you got to like keep up with your students and check their grades on the constant, and it's super fun. And there's a lot of, in my opinion, there is a decent amount of micromanaging going on, so it's really fun. But other than that, last game is I played more Quarry. I went over to me and Amy went over to our friend's house. We played more of it. We are definitely getting closer to the end, but we aren't there yet. After being there, we played it for like I think 9, 10 hours now, the game, and we still got more to go. Um, but it's really, really good. There is definitely some weird things with the game. For example, and I'm sure Mike even seen this already. The water is it's weird.
I can
It's pretty
say,
bad.
yeah, I can say with full confidence, it is some of the worst water effects I've seen in the past decade of gaming.
Yeah,
Like I
it's
think it is
really bad.
truly befuddling how they allowed that effect or that texture or whatever it is they did to it. How they were like, "Yep, that's good. That's what we want."
Yeah, it's really, really bad. Like, it's really weird too because, like, everything else has super nice quality to it, and then you see the water and they start splashing it, and it looks I really it's really hard to describe. It's almost like they're like pushing beads out or something like that. It's like it's really funky looking. It just doesn't look right. Like, it doesn't even look like what you would think like a PS2 water effects would look like. It looks worse, in my opinion. It looks really bad. So, um, yeah, that's one thing. Another weird thing I noticed is there's a certain character in the game named Emma, and her mouth, they definitely messed up on her mocap because like her mouth does the most funky things when she's talking. Like her mouth opens up to like a point where it's almost like cartoonish. It doesn't look right. Like everyone else, in my opinion, has really good mocap done to them. Like they all look really good. Their mouths move normally. It doesn't look as funky, but like Emma's, like it is like they really messed up on her mocap because like her face just looks so weird when she talks, and we were all just kind of laughing at it when we were playing the other night because like man, it's weird. um but other than that, story's really good. There are some funky, weird moments that are kind of cringy and cheesy because like they kind of like overdo it on their acting. Like there's this really cheesy scene. I'm not gonna ruin it, but like basically there's this lady and like this big explosion happens, and you know how like those cheesy old movies are like whoa, and you know like there's a big explosion behind them, but like nothing happens to them. It's just like cheesy. It was just weird. And then there was also like another part where a dude gets knocked out and it's just kind of like cheesy. Like it looks like the dude just goes, oh, like he just moves his head to his shoulder and he's like, oh, okay. So there's problems with the game, especially with the mocap and the water. But other than that, like I think it's really, really good. Story's really interesting. I wouldn't say they evolved what horror is. Like they're kind of pulling some of the same things I've seen in other horror movies, but I do think it's very interesting and there's a lot of twists and turns. But I will say if the by the end of the game it doesn't answer some of the questions I still have, like I still have some questions that are not answered. Like there's certain things, people that are dead, and certain things about other things like that they have not really answered. And it's been kind of weird. I'm like, it's getting pretty close to the end of the game. I think we're on like at least I think we're definitely on the final act of the game. And it's like I'm still having a lot of like some not a lot, but there's a pretty good amount of questions I still have. Like, are they going to answer these? Because like it's kind of weird. I mean, straight up, we've been doing so much exploring too, reading everything, and still like there's just so many answers. And I'm like, why is this happening? So, other than that, yeah, really good game. If it's ever on deep sale and you want it, it's really fun. I really like it a lot. I especially like these kind of games because I really like that they added this whole co-op thing. It's really fun to play with friends, so you're not just sitting there alone playing this game. Like it's really fun that you can actually all pass around the controller, play different people, sometimes get other people killed. It's really fun, and I definitely think this is a way better, in my opinion, than all the Until Dawn, House of Ashes, and I don't remember the last one's name. But this is definitely way better. But I also think for this game, uh, and this game also is a lot longer than those games are. Like all those are maybe like 5 6 hour games, probably five. I mean, Man of Medan's like what, 4 hours, maybe three,
Yeah,
and
well,
then the House of Ashes is like,
Until Dawn's a full fledged game. It's like 12 hours, brother.
it didn't seem that long to me, but I guess maybe.
I think it's like
But
maybe
some
8
of
at the
them, House of
shortest.
Ashes is pretty short. I'll tell you, House of Ashes is pretty short.
Well, yeah, all
So
their anthology games are pretty short.
yeah.
One thing that I'd
Oh,
been,
not Until Dawn. I got that wrong. I was
yeah,
meaning
I was like,
Man of Medan.
I was like, Until
Sorry,
Dawn was like,
Until Dawn still has probably the top tier. I didn't mean
yeah,
that game. I got mixed up between Man of Medan for some reason and Until Dawn.
yeah.
Um,
Well, that's
Until
one
Dawn is a
thing.
whole different beast.
Yeah,
That game is way higher quality.
well, that's one thing that's kind of been dawning on me. And now I haven't played the core yet, but I do know some of the reactions and some of the people that I trust with their game opinions I've listened to. Now, again, taking that with a grain of salt, this is not my first-hand reaction. It's my third-hand reaction. I liked Man of Medan. It was fine. Um, I have not played the other ones, but I know that they're better than Man of Medan, and I know this one. And I just keep thinking, I was like, was Until Dawn like the one hit wonder or like the top echelon of what Supermassive can produce? And while other things can be fun and enjoyable, like so far in the 7 years since Until Dawn, they've never really gotten even close to the quality of Until Dawn again. Again, third-handed opinion or anything like that, but I fucking adore Until Dawn. I loved that game. I beat it twice. I think that game is a masterstroke of the kind of genre that we're talking about, like the super heavy narrative driven walking simulator quote unquote s game. And I don't know if I've come to terms with the fact that it was the one hit wonder yet, but it's just something that keeps floating around in my mind. What do you think?
Um, well, another thing you gotta think about, Until Dawn was also a I think Sony had a good amount of budget thrown
Yeah,
at
I
them
mean, it was
when they
backed
made
in,
that game. So they had the budget, they had the money. I don't think the anthology series ever had the same amount of money that they did when they had Until Dawn. And you
no,
can kind of tell that
it's
because like Until what?
I was gonna say it's produced by Bandai Namco, so I would pause if someone told me that Bandai Namco had the same amount of capital that Sony had. Like I would pause if someone tried to run that fact by me. So
Yeah, yeah, but I will say though, at least the third one of the anthology series, I feel like they really have started to figure out like they kind of want to go back to that Until Dawn, and I feel like the third one of the anthology series is honestly the best one. It is really good. The characters are really good. There's a lot of decision making done. It still has not really the same problem like Man of Medan and House of Ashes had. Those have like, in my opinion, well, especially House of Ashes, I'm not gonna ruin it. It's a one and done kind of game, and you'll understand when you beat it. Um, Man of Medan has slight variances on the ending, but the third one I feel like really kind of came around and
by
actually
the way,
added a lot more decision making.
you keep getting everything confused. House of Ashes is the third one. Man of Medan's the first one. The second one
But then what was the second one?
is oh, fuck. What is the second one? It's the one starring that Donahue. I'll be back. I'll look it up.
Yeah,
Dark
I don't
Anthology.
know why I think that one's a House of Ashes, but like especially the third one. I don't know why, but that name doesn't come to that game.
I
But
mean,
you're
it's on
you're
my shelf.
probably
Like
right
I guess I can
because
just
I
turn
feel
around and look at my shelf. Little Hope. Little Hope is the second one.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay, well, Little
Yeah.
Hope is a really is a really good game, but it's more like I want to play it to understand that. Um, but I think Little Hope and Man of Medan are like decent games that they made. Obviously, Man of Medan is kind of short, and I think depending on what ending you get is how good it's going to be at the end. Sometimes you get certain people killed and certain things done, and the ending's kind of lame. It still was an okay game, even if you do get the good ending. But then, yeah, Little Hope, I feel like they really just like wanted to make a linear game, but they wanted to put decisions in there just because. But I think that it's more just like a linear game, and it's really good. Still, I think it's better the story, in my opinion, than the Man of Medan game. But House of Ashes, I feel like really got up there now. Like that one actually has a lot more decision making. There's a good few of endings. I would say maybe 4 or 5, and a lot of decisions you can make where certain people die, certain people don't, and everything. And it's very interesting, in my opinion. I think that one is really good. It's not much of a horror game; it's more like a thriller than anything, but it's really good. But Quarry, on my opinion, has really. I mean, clearly they had a lot more budget for this game. I think they put a lot more time into it. I know originally it was a Stadia game, which I do think kind of hurt it because I think if they actually just straight up made it for everything, it probably would have been higher quality than it was. But I still think it's really, really good. It's easily, other than the water effects, I think it's one of the best looking ones I've played so far. It looks insanely good. They really like to show off how good they make the skin and the eyes look because they zoom in to that face a lot to showcase, hey, you see this? We made this. We made this character and everything. But it's really good though. I think it's really, really good so far. I don't know how the ending is, which I think is the most important part. So when I get to the ending, I'll have a better opinion of it. But so far, from like the 9 hours or so that we've sat down and played it, I think it's really, really good so far. And then I guess other than that, I'm gonna move from games. I don't think I've really watched anything this week. I mean, let's see. No, I haven't finished Umbrella Academy. I haven't. For some reason, we haven't watched that at all this week. Um, Other than that, yeah, I don't think I watched anything this week at all. At least I can't think of anything, to be honest. I hope to watch the new Jurassic Park, our World movie soon. So
Be
hopefully,
be
I'll have
prepared.
opinion on that.
Be prepared for disappointment.
I mean, even if it's better than the second one, I mean, I'll be happy with that because literally the second one was hot garbage. So we'll
Yeah,
still see.
I think
We'll
it's
see.
I think it's better than the second one, but I'm not happy of its quality still because it's a franchise that I care. Anyway,
No, I
stop,
mean, I
stop,
understand that.
stop making these movies for a while and just fucking give it some time to breathe. Come up with a fresh idea for once. But I'm preaching
Yeah,
now, so anything else
that's
you
fair.
got for us, man?
Other than that, nope. Yeah. Next week I'll have some news about the certain game I'll be playing this week. Yeah. Other than that, what have you been doing this week,
Well, my
Mike?
week is I don't have too much to talk about. That's why I was kind of just letting you go because, like I said at the top, I've been kind of in and out most of the week. I've been sick with the COVID, but I have put some time into some things. Like I said, I'm still working on the Cult of the Lamb Platinum. Um, that got hiccuped here and there. But really, the only other game I've spent a significant amount of time in, I'm like 10 hours in, so it's actually a decent amount of time, is Yakuza Kiwami. Um, I'm really trying to make a point and make an effort to get back into my roots. Well, not my roots. Was born in Texas, raised in Missouri, so my roots are very Middle American. But like my roots as a gamer to the Japanese game market. That's what I grew up on. I grew up on the Final Fantasies, um, the I wanted to say Dragon's Age, but that's not right. Dragon's Quest. I grew up on these Square Enix style RPGs, so I wanted to kind of spend some time and get back into my Japanese roots. And I can tell anybody at the 10-hour mark with absolute certainty if you want a Japanese game, play Yakuza because it is the most Japanese game I've ever played. Not only is all the dialogue in Japanese, it's not translated in any way to English. It's not dubbed in any way, which was annoying for like the first hour, and then I got over that real quick. But there's Japanese jokes in here. There's Japanese interactions. There's inappropriate conversations with men to female. That's very along the Japanese culture, and it's just a very Japanese ass game, and I've absolutely loved my 10 hours with it. I think Yakuza Kiwami is fantastic so far, and obviously I'm not saying anything that's not already known, but yeah, these games have come to PlayStation Plus now. Eventually, by the end of the year, we're gonna have every single Yakuza game on here. So I've always wanted to play them. I just never really went out of my way, and there was never a great time to really sink some time into it. So I decided, I don't really have anything pertinent other than, in a week and a half, we get Last of Us Part 1. But until that, I'm kind of open. I'm done with Stray, done with Cult of the Lamb, so I don't really have anything that is going to drag away my time. I do want to get in eventually to Two Point Campus. I just got to decide when I want to give Xbox some money. Uh, but yeah, I think Yakuza's great, and it's exactly what I wanted it to be. It reminds me of some of the games I played when I was younger, and it's just been a really good time. The combat super fun, super engaging, not super easy. It'll challenge you. It'll force you to pay attention to enemy movements. It'll force you to understand your different combos is a stretch. It's literally just two buttons, but you can unlock different attacks, and those different attacks have different stances, and those different stances lean into different weaknesses of the enemy. So it's a very involved combat system, but it's one of those that setting and tone, some of the things that we've talked about with the Persona games and how they really make you feel like you're a part of this world, even though the world is generally fairly small. And that's what this game is. I mean, we're talking about a couple blocks of a city. That's all this game takes place in, and it never gets any bigger. And I think that works beautifully for the game. It works perfect. It really attaches you to this environment and to this place in a city and time, and it forces you to learn the map. I'm getting to the point now where if I need to go to a certain place, I don't need to pull up the map. I know where it is based, or where I need to go based off where I am in the world, and I would like to believe that's by design, and it feels like it's by design. So yeah, I don't have too much to say about it. That's really all I've done. All I know is, if you haven't played Yakuza out there and you are fond of Japanese style games and Japanese game development like I am, um, and you happen to have PlayStation Plus, either the extra or premium tier, it's available for both. Go ahead and jump on in, and be prepared that this is not English in any way. There's nothing English about this game. There's nothing Western about this game, and I think that's perfect for what I'm feeling right now. I'm very high into my Final Fantasy feelings right now. I can't wait to get into some of the Final Fantasy games coming up. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of preface that with getting back into some of my Japanese gaming roots. And like I keep walking around a circle, this game is exactly what I wanted. So give
Okay.
a
Real question.
yo, what's up?
Well, first thing first, just to let people know too, it's also on Game Pass if you ever want to play those games.
It is indeed on
I've
Game
always I've
Pass.
been wanting to play them really bad, so uh, hearing that does kind of excite me because I do want to play those games at some point whenever I actually have like time because I know those games are all pretty long. They have a lot of storytelling, and there's a ton of
They're
those
not
games.
actually. I thought each game was like 30, 40 hours. That's not true at all. It is if you like completionists, like dig into everything, you do all the mini games, you ace them all. The story themselves, the first 3 or 4 are only like, 16, 20 hour stories. If you just kind of mainline the story and all that, which I am kind of doing. I've played some of the mini games. I've bounced around here and there. I did some of that because the mini games are what a lot of people are fond of. I know that going as an outside viewer of the series, but I just kind of want to just play these games for the story and the characters and all that. And so far as that, all that has been, like I said, well, I guess I didn't really bring that up. I was talking mostly about the world, but so far the story has been super engaging. Really good character work so far. Sorry, continue on with your question. My bad.
Um, so I have a question, Mike.
Okay, what's up?
How was Paw Patrol on a roll?
Oh, what, did you see me playing that?
Yeah, I was like, I literally stopped for a second. I'm like, is he playing Paw Patrol? I'm like,
So
I
yeah,
had to ask. I was
that
like, what?
was that was a 30-minute detour, and that was just so last month on PlayStation Plus there was a deluge of movie tie-in games, and like if those of you that listen to us week in week out, you know that I put a couple hours into that Jumanji game,
Yeah.
popped a bunch of trophies, and that's kind of what I did here. I played the first level of this Paw Patrol game, popped 7 trophies. So,
Dang.
and then I kind of gathered some information and be like, oh, okay, all I have to do is play through all 16 levels and I'll get everything. And then I was looking through the list and I was like, wait, something's missing here. And I scrolled up to the top of the list. No platinum trophy. So
Really?
Paw Patrol got quickly deleted. Now what I'm gonna go in and try here in the next little while is the Ice Age game because that one does have a platinum. Now whether I get
Oh,
that
okay.
platinum or not, probably not. These are just games that I pop in for, I play for an hour, pop 14, 15 trophies and roll out just because it's easy. So, and it's free. Well, not free. It costs me $10 a month, but
Yeah, I mean,
it's
that's worth it though.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
fun to do those little things.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's funny you said that because Peyton was, she was laying on the sofa when I booted it up, and I had my headphones on, and she looked up and she goes, "You playing Paw Patrol?" I was like, "Yeah, I am." And the game is not good, by the way. The game is fucking terrible. It's really
I
bad.
guarantee it.
But and it's annoying. They use. I mean, I've never seen the show or anything like that. I think I walked by when my niece was watching it once, but they use like dogisms, I guess would it say. Like if you do really good on a level, you're I don't know, whoever the main guy is that like gives out the missions. He was like, "Good job, that was perfect," and I was like, "Oh my god, what am I doing with my life?" I was like, what am I doing sitting here playing this perfect game?" And I hate. Oh man, but you know what?
Perfect.
I did have to sit back and kind of check myself and if I had a 2 or 3 year old and I wanted to get them into gaming, introduce them, this would be perfect because it's, jump and move in a straight line forward. That's all it is. And press a couple buttons here and there that you actually can't press the wrong button. If you do, it'll just tell you what the right button is. So you can't fail, you can't die, you can't do anything, and you just jump and you run forward. So, if you got a young kid out there and you're like, man, how do I get them into games right now? Because you look around the list and you see The Last of Us or Halo or Gears of War or Gran Turismo, and you're like, yeah, my kid can't play any of this, or GTA at the worst of them. And it's like, you know what? There are games out there. There's Paw Patrol, Jumanji, and Ice Age. Go ahead, get yourself some PlayStation Plus Extra, and download those games for your kids. I will say that. It's hysterical that you saw me playing that. That's fucking funny.
Because it was so random. Because like I was literally just like I was on PlayStation. I wanted to see if you're on. I clicked on your profile and instantly the first thing popped up. It said Paw Patrol, and I'm like, did he get hacked into? Like who's playing Paw Patrol on his profile right now?
Oh, that is amazing. I wish you would have like shot me a message or joined a party with me and be like, bro, what are you doing? And
Yeah,
just like called me out right then and there because I would have lost my shit. That was Tuesday night, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that was when I was starting to feel like ass, and I was just like, yeah, because I had just ran into the problem with Cult of the Lamb, and I quit out of that mission, and I'm like, what do I want to play? I'm like, oh, it's too late to kind of start up Yakuza. I want to have a couple hours to dig into that. And I'm like, well, I got these fucking Paw Patrol and Ice Age games. Let me jump into one of those. And that's fucking funny. You should have said something about it right then and there. That would have been hysterical. But then we wouldn't get to have this beautiful moment on the XP podcast where you get to make fun of me for playing Paw Patrol and call me out. It's great.
Yeah.
But that's it. I still have not watched the final episode of The Boys. I'm on the last episode of season 3, but this is what I do sometimes. I'm also on the last episode of um, Miss Marvel. Haven't watched that yet. I'm on the last
Oh, you
episode.
have.
No, I watched all but the final episode.
Oh, don't forget, She-Hulk's out. Your
Hey, you
favorite
know what I have
show,
to
Mike.
say? She-Hulk is actually getting good responses, which I don't know if that makes me happy or makes me angry because I just have a predetermination that I'm not gonna like this. Like, I almost said game, not gonna like this show. But some of the things that now IGN is IGN, whatever. But they gave it like good reviews and everything. And I'm looking up its Metacritic right now. Yeah, 67, which is not a bad thing for Metacritic. I mean, we're talking about. I mean, that's better than The Sandman on Netflix, which is annoying. That's same score as House of Dragons at right now. So, but one thing I did want to pull up real quick while we're talking about it. Let's see what the audience score is. 4.5.
I was about to say, I don't know if you heard too. There's like a whole news story that's up
No, what's
of
up?
She-Hulk being review bombed. I
Oh,
don't
I'm
know
sure.
why.
Because it looks
I didn't
terrible.
really care to look, but I did see that as a thing. It's being review bombed, and it was like if I clicked on it, and it showed like literally like almost like this percent war of like 5 stars and 1 stars, and like everything in the middle was like 1 or 2%. So it was really weird.
Well, I
I don't
will
know
say
why though.
on Rotten Tomatoes is not as much of a discrepancy. It's 82 critical and 62 audience score. So that's not as bad as I've seen it before. Man, I've seen some things get review bombed, and it's like we've talked about it outside the show, obviously, just in private, how it's kind of annoying because like you see, 1 star review for I don't know, Halo Infinite, 1 star review for The Last of Us Part 2. It's like, look, these games can not be what you want them to be, but if you gotta put a review on something, don't be a dick and actually give a critical opinion on it, not just because oh, this game sucks. The game clearly doesn't suck. Like, you just didn't like it. So there's a difference there between opinion and critical facts. But that's a whole fucking web of a down spiral that I could go down there, and I probably don't want to right now because people hate me for my opinions. But yeah, so will I watch She-Hulk? Eventually. I'll probably watch it before I watch Loki, which makes Logan super happy.
You're
But
making me so mad with that right now, man. Loki is so good, in my opinion. It is my favorite Disney Plus Marvel show.
look, I know that
So
and I understand it, but I don't like that it exists, all right? That's something you have to realize about me. I don't like that these TV shows exist. That's why it's taking me so long to get through them. I still go, opening weekend, opening week, and watch all the MCU movies, but I'm so far behind on the MCU movies because I'm like, I don't like the TV shows. I don't like that they're a thing. And that's just me being weird, I guess, but it's my opinion, so leave me alone.
hey, that's fair. Because I will admit, I almost would rather more movies because usually they put a lot more work into them, especially in the CGI. I feel like all their shows have that same problem where their CGI is garbage.
Yeah, and that really helps out when you have an entirely CGI character. But it's dumb because like the Hulk is still in this, and the Hulk looks fine. The Hulk looks like the Hulk from the movies, and then stacked up against She-Hulk, which again I haven't watched it, so third person perspective here, looking out, or looking on from the outside, I guess. But like I don't know how much they could have fixed it from the trailer that came out, a month ago. I don't know if you know anything about how animation works, but it does not come that quickly. Like it takes some time to go in and fix this stuff, to add different textures and layers and to make things real. Shit, I forgot what the fact was, but one scene of Infinity War to get Thanos looking right took like 4 months to work on. So, like this shit doesn't happen overnight. Anyway, I don't I don't have anything else to say. Do you have any questions about Yakuza? You being excited? Do you have any qualms about it? Qualms about it being only Japanese audio?
No, I mean I've watched animes in full Japanese with English subtitles, so it's not like it's anything too new. I am one of those people that prefer an English language, so then I can listen and play at the same time because I have that problem where sometimes I'm reading the dialogue and not paying attention to the complete action that's happening on screen. Not saying I've gotten better at not having that problem. Like there's a lot of shows I've watched where I watched it in full on, like again, like this is a throwback, but All of Us Dead. I watched that in full Korean with English subtitles on it. I didn't have problems with it, but there's still it still just kind of makes me wish that I could just hear it in English and watch it, because then it feels a lot more comfortable and I'm not having to constantly read while watching it. But I
Well,
don't think it's that big of a deal,
that was
though.
my big hiccup. Excuse me. When I hiccup trying to say the word hiccup. Don't know what that is, but that's at first I was like, oh man, because I have the same problem with you do. Is I cannot watch an anime that's non-dubbed because yeah, as you said, I just miss too many things. But the good news is this isn't like a high action, you know, the camera's moving around and shifting or anything like that. Like, you get a chance to read and then kind of look at the performances at the same time. It's not like some of the animes where if you miss a sentence or if you're reading a sentence, there's something like actually important going on with like the actual image or the screen. Like there's character interactions happening that if you just focused on reading it, you can miss that. And maybe I'm just a slow reader, which I know that I am a slow reader, so leave me alone. Um, but yeah, that's what I was worried about at first. But after I said the first hour or so, I realized I'm like, oh, I can easily read things and then look up and see the performances of what's happening because the Japanese language is very, how do I want to say this? They have to say a lot to say a little. I guess is what I'm trying to say. So like when you're reading the English version of it, you can get done before they're done talking, so you have time to kind of look up and see things. I
That is
guess.
fair, yeah.
Yeah. Like I am starting to pay attention and like, okay, I know what this is. How long does it take this person to say that? So it's kind of like a cool little thing that I'm doing. And I hope eventually to learn Japanese because I said it's one of my all-time favorite just things in general is just Japanese culture as a whole and the history and everything else, and especially the game design, which takes from the history and takes from the lore and everything. So I want to eventually learn the language and all that, but that's a task that I'm not trying to take up right now. Let me finish school first, and then I'll go back to doing that. All right. Well, with that awkward pause, anything else you want to talk about, sir?
Oh, no, no, sorry, no, I've been hearing there's a lot of people around me moving a lot of stuff, so I was kinda like I was hoping my mic wasn't gonna pick it up. Um,
I've heard stuff every now and then, but who the hell cares? We have lives. People know that.
yeah.
All right.
But, yeah, no, I mean, I do wanna play the Yakuza games. Don't know when, but it'll be sometime, hopefully.
Just if you have a lull, obviously starting in like November through like March of next year, we don't really have a lull, so not a great time. That's why I'm trying to knock out at least maybe one of them beforehand, and then maybe I'll knock out the second one or the prequel late September before God of War and uh all that, and before we get into October and I gotta play Gotham Knights. I can't. Okay, all jokes aside, I've been watching a lot of IGN's first coverage of Gotham Knights, and I'm not gonna lie, man, I think it might surprise you because it's not what you think it is. It's not a live service game. Yes, it does have a gear system, but it's not a live service game. They're not program. It's supposed to be a single player to two-person co-op game, and that's all it is. It's not Marvel's Avengers, it's not Destiny, it's not being designed like that or even planned like that. So we'll see. I probably not a day one for me because I said that comes out right smack dab in the middle of Call of Duty time, which I do want to play with you guys and everything, and that's right before God of War, and then after God of War, we go straight into Pokemon, and then after Pokemon, we go straight into the Callisto Protocol, and then after the Callisto Protocol, we go straight into Forspoken and Dead Space, and then after that, we go straight into uh, Resident Evil 4, and it's just, yeah. Once November hits, man, shit's gonna go crazy, and I can't wait for it. I'm tired of the slow game release schedule. I want to just go from game to game to game and not like play a game and then like, okay, what am I gonna do for the next 2 weeks? You know?
No, I understand that. That's totally fair.
All right. Let's get into the news, man. Ladies and gentlemen, that was what you've been doing. Please go to our Patreon pages, go to our YouTube pages. Let us know what you've been doing, what you've been playing. We're going to move in now to Around the Point, where we here at the Experience Point go around the video game world and tell you all about the news that you need to know about. Number one on Around the Point, Marvel. What are you laughing at?
No, that was me uh adjusting. Sorry.
Oh,
I
thought you were laughing at.
went sorry. I was not laughing. No.
We have gotten some new information on a canceled open world Iron Man game behind the studios from the studios of Just Cause Avalanche Studios. In an interview with MinMax, which I guess is a thing, Avalanche Studios co-founder Christopher Sundberg said the game was in development for a couple years before it ultimately got canceled around 2012. It would have been an open world game where you'd be able to take off and fly just about anywhere. Sundberg also mentions the ability to punch enemies through walls with Iron Man's repulsor gloves, and if you have any further want or anything like that, to look up any information, well, that was a sentence. You can go to MinMax, spelled capital MINN, capital MAX. He did the full-on interview where you can read through it with the co-founder of Avalanche Studios. So, Logan, you and I have sometimes sat back and we've kind of pondered what certain video games would be like. You know, there was that whole thing we did last year where I gave you a pitch for a Superman game, and we kind of went back and forth for a couple days talking about what it could be. So I thought this was kind of right up our alley, and wanted to get your opinion on what could have been, in my opinion, a pretty damn cool sounding game.
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's I remember hearing this news, which honestly I totally didn't even know this was a thing at all. Never even heard anything about it. If I have, it's again, you said it's been like I think they talked about it like a long time ago, and then it just kind of never got brought up again.
Well, it got canceled in
Um,
2012, so
oh, then why is it being brought up again?
it's just a news
Did
story
it get
that
canceled again? Oh,
No,
okay.
no, it's just a news story that came up that said this guy had this interview where he talked about it, and it kind of sparked some of my creative juices flowing.
Oh.
Oh, and just kind of thinking about what this could have been. It said essentially Iron Man in a Just Cause world. That's kind of what the pitch was, and obviously you think about the studio behind it, it makes sense. It sounds simplistic like that, but I don't know, it just kind of made me sad that we didn't get that, and I just wanted to take some time and us ponder
No, I
what could have
think
been an Iron
that
Man
would
game.
that would have been amazing, honestly, especially with Just Cause developers. Like, I feel like Just Cause developers make a good gameplay loop. I do think they would need to have some kind of writer because I'm not gonna lie, Just Cause stories are not good, like at all. But they are serviceable to the point where they at least like say like, "Hey, here's a reason why you're here, shooting all these guys, blowing everything up." But just the gameplay, imagining it, oh, it would be amazing to have an Iron Man game made by them because it's perfect. Like their whole game is built around them flying and everything, and I could just imagine like maybe they pull like a Spider-Man thing where there's like a ton of different suits from all the comics, the new movies, etc. And then like all the different builds you could probably put on your Iron Man. Like maybe they'll let you uh, put different gadgets in different places and mix and match and all that. That'd be super cool. They probably have some kind of cool probably skill tree, or something like that. That'd be super cool. And then also just all the destruction with an Iron Man game would be awesome. I almost in my opinion, my dream Iron Man game also would be like the people that made Red Fraction Gorilla, to have them kind of have like a I know obviously I don't think the same people even exist anymore for that. But like to have an Iron Man game where you could literally just go through any building like that and then also make like a Just Cause size world with it. Like that would be amazing. I know they're not the same developers, they're not even the same team, but I'm just saying like Red Faction Guerrilla still is one of those games that blow me away with like the destruction you could do in that game, where even the slightest things you could destroy and make it fall over, and it's insanely satisfying. I still remember that game to this day. I mean, I never played it when it got remastered, but I did play it on the 360 around the time it came out, and that game is still just so mind blowing on how cool it is. I just love that, and just to have an Iron Man game with something like that would be sick. But the Just Cause game too, just like having that huge, gigantic open world. Every single Just Cause game has had the biggest world to explore and everything. I mean, whether there's an argument to say how much there is in that world, how deep is it, how what's the variety and everything, but it's still a huge open world. And just to think that they don't really need to put like a super deep amount of detail because the most thing about Iron Man is him flying around, so most of the time, you're not gonna be focusing on every little tiny detail, but still, I could imagine that. That'd be super cool. I don't know how they were gonna be able to make something like that in 2012. Maybe in today's day or today's age, I think something like that could actually be a thing. But 2012, that was ambitious. Is all I gotta say.
I mean, Just Cause and all that came out around then. I mean, when did Just Cause 3 come out? Just Cause 3
I think
came out in
2013 or
2015.
14. Oh, 15. Yeah. So yeah, it
So,
was.
I think it would be plausible to say a lot of the work that went into the Iron Man game and a lot of probably the stuff they did, and especially the demolition or destruction that you were talking about, probably just rotated itself over into Just Cause 3. I think that's fair to say. So probably a lot of what was in Just Cause 3 was originally designed or originally um, developed for this canceled Iron Man game, which I think is kind of cool to kind of piece those two together and think about it, because that's Just Cause 3 is when we got the whole grappling hook and parachute kind of combo in the Just Cause series, so you can see where the inspiration for that kind of came in, where if they were working on flying systems and they were working on all these underlying layers to a game, they kind of probably wanted to still kind of use that, and they realized that flying or floating or whatever is a very interesting or engaging way to navigate a huge open world. So I think it's kind of cool to think about that and kind of post mortem look at the connections that could have been a game that we see in Just Cause 3. So interesting to see
Well,
that Marvel and Disney are the
oh, I was gonna.
ones. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna cut and say another detail too that like that if you play Just Cause 4, they added the whole jetpack thing where you can actually fly around and everything. That might also be a little piece of what was to come with Iron Man game. That was the only thing I wanted to add in because yeah, Just
Yeah,
Cause 4 did add like a jetpack in that.
yeah.
So
So I think it's kind of cool to, us hearing about this story now in 2022, look back a decade ago and make connections to what the studio went on to work with, and, to see what could have been and posterize and theorize kind of things that could have been in there. I also think it's interesting that the game was canceled not by Avalanche Studios. Obviously, a developer wouldn't cancel their own game. Well, it has happened before, but Disney and Marvel canceled the game. So that conglomeration, and this is at towards the very beginning of when we saw Marvel begin to make their entrance or attempt to make their entrance into the video game world. Like 2013 or 2014, I believe, is when Marvel started shopping around the idea of the Spider-Man game, and which would eventually become, Insomniac Spider-Man like we know it is today. So this is it's interesting that, to think maybe, this game wasn't shaping up the way they thought it was going to be, so they canceled it, and then we got some version of Spider-Man or the idea of that Spider-Man game from this and from that want and need that Marvel wanted to get into the games industry and wanted to have a footprint in the games industry. So yeah, all that stuff's kind of cool to think about, and to kind of theorize post-humaniously. Wait, that's not the right word. Post-humorously. whatever the word is. I don't know,
Hey,
something
it's
like that.
okay. At least you're not saying death wrong. So
Oh, and by the way, earlier this episode, you said that other word that I told you about. You remember when I was saying there was another word you say weird
yeah,
that
yeah.
annoys me? Yeah, it's linear, not linear.
Oh,
It's linear,
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 linear.
not
At least I
linear.
can say that. Yeah, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, yeah. No, in depth,
It's
you
not as
just
bad as
missed.
deaf. I can't seem to see like deaf.
You just
Deaf.
missed the
I
P.
can't
You
say
just
it,
can't
man.
say the P in it, man.
I don't know
No, it's
what's
cool.
wrong.
But you said linear earlier, and I was like, that was the word. That was the word that he says also that annoys me. It annoys me in a funny way, not into like I want to come to your house and strangle you way. Whoa, that got dark.
Yeah. What?
All right, well I think the connection to the Spider-Man games of talking about Marvel, if you're ready to move on, connects to something I wanted to bring up. Are
Okay.
you? No, I was saying like
Oh, I'm
it.
here.
If it. No, I was saying if you were good to move on.
Oh, good to move on. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
something I wanted to take a second to talk about. Coming from a Sony first-hand pony, Sony pony here, Sony fanboy. I wanted to bring up something on the Spider-Man remastered version on PC. Everyone's been playing it. A lot of people have been enjoying it. I've been seeing all kinds of mods and everything for it, which is great. And I remember I was talking to one of the guys I talk to quite regularly on Reddit about Sony and about some of the things going on. He asked me if I had bought it yet, and I said no. And he asked me why, and I'm like, because I don't like that this game is $60. And look, I understand Sony wants to make some money off this game. I get it. But to launch a remastered version of a game 4 years after the original launch of the game at the same price point that you originally lost the game at seems a bit douchey in my eyes. Seems a bit douchey, especially considering they gave us Spider-Man remastered on PS5 for $20 when you think about the fact that it was combined with Spider-Man Miles Morales at $50 and then both of them together was $70 at launch. So Sony gave us this game, Spider-Man remastered, for $20. And then when it comes to PC, it's $60. Maybe it's $50. It's $50 or $60. Either way, I personally feel like it's too much, which is the main reason why I actually did not buy it like I said I was going to. So I just wanted to take some time, bring that, and bring my opinion to the forefront. And I think that Sony is doing a little bit of price gouging here, which they always do. It's, Sony is the Apple of the video game industry. And that is, I think, a fact that some Sony fanboys find it hard to deal with. I've accepted it and moved on with my life. So, I guess I wanted to ask you if, excuse me, if you had any opinions on this or what your thoughts were on Sony selling a full price game from 2018.
Um. I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised. But I also don't think it's as bad as I think it could have been. They could have been charging $70 for it, which I really wouldn't have been surprised if they would have done something like that. But I mean, I don't think it's that bad. I guess I don't know. I mean, I know it's $60, but I
Well, I
mean, I
mean,
guess
I'm
they
not.
also feel like if they would have charged like $20 or 30 or whatever, there would have been some backlash because people have been like, well, why was it like that for us?
Oh no, 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 no! I
And I
think
don't know.
twenty
I just feel
dollars.
like,
I think $20 is way, way too cheap. I was saying I'd be okay with this at like
yeah,
$40 or something, because clearly Nixxes, who Sony purchased and now owns, put in a lot of effort to make this game the best they could on PC. There's a lot of deep, detailed settings and everything that you can go into. This game runs on everything from a Steam Deck to a 3090 without any problems. So credit where credit's due, Nixxes so far seems to be paying off in terms of Sony purchases of last year, and they did a fantastic job porting this game to PC and giving all the PC people all the PC stuff that PCs could PC. Like, So clearly there was development efforts that happened here, deep development efforts that went in, and those people have to be paid. I don't know. I just thought $60 was like, I don't know, maybe to me it just hit me with a little bit of sticker shock. So I remember on launch day I went to buy it and I was like, ugh, I'm not gonna pay $60 for a game I've already beat twice. Like, I'll just wait till that comes down a bit. So I don't know. Again, I don't think it's like the worst thing Sony's ever done. Clearly, they've done way more douchey things. I just thought it was a little high of a price. But, 62,000 players on Steam day one, so a lot of people paid this game. A lot of people bought this game, and Sony made a lot of money off this game. So congratulations to them. They, Spider-Man, I mean, in your eyes, is one of the best games ever made. You put it on your top 10 list, so.
I
And
100% agree with that. Yeah.
yeah, and it's great that other people got to experience this. I just personally thought $60 was a little steep of an asking price for what is essentially oh, excuse me, a 2 to 4 year old game. That's just my opinion. Just want to throw that out there. I just want to let people know that that's where I stand on that. Anything
Yeah, I
else?
could see that, but I also think I understand why they put it at 60 right off the bat, just to say like this is like a new game that they put a lot of time into porting over. Um so I mean, I get it. I mean, does it come with it comes with all the DLC too, doesn't it? Yeah. So
Yeah, well,
I
so
mean,
did
I'm
you
not
said
saying that,
so did the one on
yeah, yeah,
PS5.
I know. Well, yeah, but like I guess yeah, that makes sense. But I guess I don't know. Again, I think it makes sort of sense that they would put it at $60 on PC because like it's their first debuted on there, and they know people will pay $60 to get it on there just because they can now play it on PC, and people clearly pay $60 to get for. I mean, clearly it seems like they're doing pretty well on sales with the new PC launch. So
I do
I
find it
think no matter
interesting.
what, it's a
Sorry, go ahead. I didn't let
no,
you
you're
finish your
good. No,
statement.
no, no.
I was just saying
That was pretty much it.
I did find it interesting that while 62,000 players day one is a lot, that's not as much as God of War. So God of War had more players day one on PC. Just throwing it out there. Either way, Sony's been successful so far in their PC um dr- dreams. Nah, that's not the right word. I don't know what I'm trying to say. In the PC
Escapade.
efforts.
Yeah, yeah, effort. There you go.
And it seems like, well, not seems like, it's 100% guaranteed that they're not slowing down anytime soon. They purchased a studio for the sole purpose of porting these games and making these games run best and play best on PC. And speaking of Sony on PC, let's go into number 3 on Around the Point. Is Sony working on a PC games launcher? People dug into the files of Spider-Man Remastered on PC and found references to a PlayStation PC launcher, as reported by Video Games Chronicle. It says while the game files often mention content that has been scrapped, like a potential multiplayer mode, which we all knew about, it at least shows that having an independent PC launcher is an idea being floated around at Sony. Further files also reference PSN account linked and PSN linking entitlements, despite Sony not offering any connectivity between users, PlayStation Network accounts, and the PC Studio games so far. Obviously, this is all just rumors and speculation based off game code and files, but I found it interesting that it was a part of the game file. It was in the game. So I just wanted to bring this up and think if you, well, get your opinion and if you think this is something that Sony is working on or they should do. My personal opinion is I kind of see this as a no-brainer as a sort. It's a way to link the entire catalog of Sony together in multiple different um, platforms. And I personally think this is just Sony's got to figure the shit out because we all know that software development isn't their best category. But so yeah, want to turn over to you and get what you had to think about this and your opinions on a new launcher for your Steam Deck whenever you get it.
Well, that means it basically wouldn't be able to go on it because you have to download Windows. I don't know if I really want to download Windows on this, from what I could tell. Um,
That's true.
but
Not on the Steam Deck because Steam is its own launcher.
yeah,
Sorry, that was a bad statement. But when you eventually do build your PC that you want to do, that is one thing
yeah.
that is just a truth of owning a PC is you have 18 million launchers on your computer at all times. So
I'm not. I don't know. I mean, if they are coming out with a PC launcher, so is it going to be like Origin, I guess, or I mean, I guess Origin isn't a thing anymore. But let's go back to when it was a thing.
well, think
You
of
know,
something like the Rockstar game launcher, like
or I guess yeah,
yeah, like you buy a game on Epic Game Store or you buy the game, excuse me, on Steam. And when you go to open it, it tells you, hey, this has to run off this launcher and all that. And that's what happens with. I mean, you buy Red Dead on Epic Games, you have to bring up the Epic Games launcher. Um,
yeah.
that I think is annoying, but I guess what excites me the most is just having this idea of everything linked, and then the idea comes in of cross-play and cross-functionality between the two. So I'm playing on my PC
Okay.
and I just go over to my PS5 and boom, my stuff's right there. That is to me where I get excited about this kind of stuff, where I think this could be a win if they do something along those lines, especially with like, trophies and all that. I can easily trophy hunt by just having my two screens playing on one screen, having a guide pulled up on the other screen, and when I'm done, go back to my PlayStation 5 and play the exact game that I was playing. That is kind of the dream in my eyes where I see this at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean that's. I don't really think that's a too bad of an idea. I think it does make sense. So then, yeah, if they want to do crossplay, they can play it. They can play it on their PC, or and especially for like the Steam Deck, which I don't know how well that's going to work. I mean, I guess they could have some kind of support with that if they still have a launcher. 'Cause I think that's a smart idea. So then, and yeah, you can have cross. You have the cloud saves, and if you have the launcher, I'm sure you could set up the launcher to your PlayStation account, and then therefore you can have cloud saves move back and forth. I think that's a really good idea. I don't see the problem with that. At first, what I honestly, this is again, I don't have a PC, never played a lot of PC games launcher. I thought they were trying to open their own store, and I was like, that's kind of dumb. But
No,
this makes
no.
more
A
sense.
store and a launcher are two different things. Like I said, like the Epic not the Epic, that's a bad example. That's a store. The Epic Game Store and Steam are stores that function
Yeah.
simultaneously as launchers. But something like the Rockstar game launcher is just something that runs the games. Which if you ask me why you need it, I have no fucking clue. I'm good at PCs and I'm good at understanding why I need the Rockstar launcher. I don't know. But I think it does make sense, and also something to think about is Sony is making a push into live action games, and that's wrong. um, oh my god, what's the name for it? The Destinies of the world. What the fuck? Logan, help me out here.
Live action?
No, not live action. That's a
You talking about live
movie.
action? Oh.
Um,
Oh, live service.
live service. Yeah, Sony is making a
Yeah.
very public push into live
Just
service,
said live
and if
action.
live action, yeah, my bad. Oh, and if they can get this all to work right, hey, look, now PC players and PS5 players can play together on the newest AAA live action. Oh god damn it, live service release from Sony, and I think that's very smart. Whether it all works out for them, who the hell knows? We'll figure that out in a couple years. But I think that just makes sense of connecting these two properties together. I think it's a good move.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Yeah.
So didn't know if you had anything else to say on it. So
No, I don't think I do. No.
all right, well let's hope they can figure this stuff out. We all know how good Sony software development is on the back end, which is not great. Moving in now to the fourth story. Excuse me, the fourth story on Around the Point. The last bit of Sony news. Astro Playroom developer, Team of Sony has come out and said currently they are working on their biggest game ever. Hold on. I have a quote that I lost. Oh, yeah, unlike the free to play Astro's Playroom, this new game will be a full commercial title, whatever that means, and our biggest to date, he says. We're not giving ourselves any limits. If good people want to join Team Asobi, then we will be willing to take them on, he said. There's always stuff to do, there's always new projects to begin. We are not limited by any money or any time. If we could double the studio just like that, we would find work for everybody. I think this is super exciting for me. Hopefully, it is for you. We both loved Astro's Playroom. We think it is. I mean, I still think it's fantastic to this day. It's one of my most memorable platinum experiences of all time. Like, from a Sony guy, from a Sony fanboy, all the history and reverence that is in that game. Um, this sounds absolutely fantastic. Give them all the money that you can give them, Sony. Grow that studio and let them make any game they want. Give me a full-fledged Astro game. Make that the new mascot of PlayStation, at least for the current generation that we're talking about. I think it's a fantastic mascot. And yeah, all this got me super excited for what they could be working on. We'll probably see it pretty shortly. It's been 2 years since Astro's Playroom. They haven't done anything other than that. They've helped on some teams here and there, but I also wanted to get your opinion on, do we think this is just a regular AAA PS5 release, or maybe it's something linked to PSVR 2? Because they did do, their first game was original PSVR, the first Astro game. So, wanted to get your opinion on this from a guy who I know liked Astro's Playroom and see what you have to think.
Um, no idea to be honest. I honestly would much prefer if they just made it a normal PS5 game, but or they make it for both. They could do uh, uh what was a game that came out recently? It's kind of like it. Have you ever heard of Moss Book? I believe that's what the game was. Didn't it have like a release where it was both? Wasn't it
uh,
both? Yeah,
well,
I know you've talked
no,
about it, but
no,
you
it's called Moss Book 2. It's the second one. It's not called
oh
Moss Book.
well,
No, I love
okay,
Moss. I haven't
well
got a chance to play the second one yet, but yeah, no, the original Moss was
then
one of the first games I played on PSVR, but that is VR only. That is not available
oh it
on
is okay.
regular.
Maybe I got a wrong idea.
But there's something like the Subsistence from Firewalker. That's wrong. One of the new studios that Sony bought is a VR game, and then they made a base version for PS4. Well, not a base version, a different version for just PS5. I realized I said 4 wrong. Sorry, I'm all off today. So yeah, it is something like that, or the Persistence, that can be played on either, but they are kind of different experiences, those two games.
Yeah. I guess they could do something like that. I guess they can make like a game. They can make the game, but then make it to where it could be played on both VR and the normal PS5. But I don't know. I'm probably gonna bet that you're probably right. It's probably gonna be a PSVR 2 game, which would make sense because that's how it started. Um, but maybe they'll throw a curveball and it'll be just a PS5 game. Which yeah, no, I really liked Astro Playroom. I think it's unique and interesting. I think also it's kind of weighted due to the fact that it's just like the game that comes with the PS5 and it's a cool tech test for the game. But I think it's also pretty dang enjoyable even outside of just thinking of it as a tech test game. I think it's very, very beautiful game with probably again still to this day the most of use out of the adaptive triggers and the haptic feedback built into the controller. I
Well,
think
yeah, I
it's
mean,
probably the most.
that's his point. Like, that's one of the reasons for its
Yeah,
existing, is it is a tech
yeah,
demo for the DualSense. But yeah, I think we both talked about it as we were playing. To our surprise, both, it is a full fledged, albeit short, 3D platformer.
yeah, and it's insanely well made too. It's not just
Yeah.
some basic boring thing. Like each world is insanely well designed. It's a fun little game. I mean, heck, it comes with the system. So if you got a PS5, I mean, you have to try it at least. It comes with the system. It's really fun. It's really cool. I like it even more than just as a technical test. I think it's probably one of the coolest games to be launched with the system to really showcase its capabilities. If this is true that they are trying to make a bigger game, I don't think they would try to make their second game as another test kind of game. But I almost wonder if they will come out with two games. So they'll come out with this big game, which will probably be a PS5 original game, and then they'll come out with another Astrobot that will be a tech test for the new PSVR 2. I think that would be a really good idea, especially with the new haptic feedback in the new VR controllers and everything, and the new system. They could do something really cool with that as one of the free games to put in there. I hope they do that and end up making this big game as a PS5 only game. Well, they're all PS5, but I mean, as an actual just controller based game.
I mean, yeah, Sony has a history of doing this with some of their smaller developers. They ask them to make a game, and if that game succeeds, they're like, all right, here's a much bigger budget. Go make something completely new. Well, not completely new. I hope it still has something to do with Astrobot because I love Astrobot as a character. I think he's great. Like I said, he could be the most impactful mascot Sony's had since the PS1 era, and really connect with that older generation and younger generation together. But yeah, Sony does this all the time. You know, we just saw it backfire on a team. The guys who made Destruction All Stars. I can't think of their names. But anyway, they made that game, and if rumors are to believe, if rumors are to be believed, they were tapped to make the next Twisted Metal game. And after the reception of Destruction All Stars, Sony said, "You know what? Someone else is gonna make it because we didn't like what you had to do. We're gonna have you do something else and maybe prove it to you again." So Sony's been known to do that. They want people to prove themselves in the industry before they give them not unlimited money, but a lot of money to go make a game. So I would not be surprised to believe that's what's going on here. You know, Sony said, "Hey, you made a great VR game. Make this Pac-Man game, and if it all goes well, here's a budget. Go make a game." So and all that.
Hey, Mike, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I just wanted to let you know I'm just so excited though for Destruction All Star movie to come out.
Is that another thing?
Because no, I'm joking.
Oh, I
Because
was like, bro,
they
please no.
cancel, like they don't let them make a sequel or anything, but they will make another movie. They will make a
Yeah,
movie out of
Days
it.
Gone. Who the fucking
It's so
who knows?
why.
I mean, Sony has gotten. We've only seen one movie come out from Sony Pictures. I liked it. Logan thought it was fine. But they seem to just keep getting these big time directors to join on their movies somehow. I mean, the dude who directed um District 9 is directing the Gran Turismo movie. Like, what? How did they pull that off? They went to Neil Blomkamp, was like, "Hey, you want to make this game based off this racing game? You want to make this movie based off this racing game?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's do it." And it's like, what the fuck? How much money are they throwing at these projects? I don't know. Let's move on. Do you agree?
Yep.
Number 5 on Around the Point, it has come out that Nintendo, at one point in time, was working on a controller that could work with everything. In an interview with Inverse, former Nintendo of America president Reggie Fils-Aimé said that at one point in time, Nintendo was part of an initiative across the gaming industry to create a platform agnostic controller. The company used Xbox's adaptive controller as a jumping off point. He then goes on to explain, imagine an adaptive controller that you could play with your latest Xbox, PlayStation, or Nintendo platform. That's what we were working on 3 years ago. He retired back in 2019, so we're looking at around 2016. However, he isn't sure if the project is still underway at Nintendo, but he hopes that he is. He also goes on to say, my hope is that the controller and the ability for that controller to connect with all the various systems is launched and shared with consumers as quickly as possible. So, we're going to take just a couple minutes here, get your opinion, and get your feeling on what you think about platform agnostic controllers and if this is a possibility in the future of the video games industry. Well,
I have no problem with that. I think it's really cool. I mean, especially if it's like a really really good controller. I mean, is this like trying to be the Xbox thing for like people with like disabilities and everything to make it more open, or is this just supposed to
No,
be
it's
a
just a controller
universal
that works with
remote?
all of them. Yeah,
Okay,
platform
okay.
agnostic, so it means it's not related to any one thing. It can just work on everything.
Well, that's cool though, because yeah, I mean, I would be down for that. Like if I could, I know this is Xbox fanboyish, but if well, I mean, I could, I'd be excited to use like a PS5 controller now and everything. That'd be sick. Or I mean, either way, I think it's cool. I think it's a great idea. But it also just depends on how good is the remote. Is it actually good to play with? Does it feel good? I'm not gonna lie, Nintendo, I feel like has never really had the most top tier controllers.
Yeah, that's kind
um,
of where I was shocked that this came from Nintendo. Like if this was Xbox was working on this, I was like, well, yeah, that makes sense because Xbox is trying to be everywhere and be able to be played everywhere. But Nintendo, being the driving force behind this idea of platform agnosticism, that's what kind of was like. I was like, oh, okay, that's interesting.
yeah,
One of the companies that will like refuse stubbornly to not work with anybody on a level that I don't even think Sony can get to. Um, thought it was interesting that the possibility that they were working on something. I kind of hope not kind of I hope this still is a thing, and I hope it comes out at one point in time. It's probably going to cost $300.
I would hope it doesn't cost that much, but
I'm
yeah.
joking.
No, I know, but yeah, I would be interested to see what it's like, but do I have much faith in the Nintendo controller? No, I don't think I've ever held a Nintendo remote and been like, dang, this is the best remote I've ever had in my hand. I was like, I
All right,
mean, until
credit.
literally PlayStation 5 came out. What's up?
I was gonna say credit where credit's due. The Wii U Pro controller, well, it was just a ripoff of Xbox. 60 hours of battery life. I think I charged that thing twice. Now, whether that's saying I didn't play a lot of Wii U
Dang.
games, but that controller lasted forever.
Yeah, that's fair.
So you
I mean,
you were gonna say?
I like the Switch Pro controller. I think it feels really good, but again, it's pretty much looks exactly like the Xbox remote. But you know, I did see the new Power A remotes. I've always been tempted to see what those are. They actually came out with ones that are rechargeable now, so I'm curious on how well those are. I know the Power A's that came out that were battery powered. I'm not a big fan of, but now that they're actually rechargeable, that's pretty cool. I know, isn't that ironic? An
I was
Xbox
gonna say.
or their controllers have to use batteries.
I was gonna
Yeah, I
say.
know.
I was just gonna ask you, like,
That's why I buy battery packs.
when do you think Xbox finally makes a built-in battery for the controller?
I don't
20,
know, and I don't know why they haven't done it yet.
20,
I
twenty
really do not
thirty?
understand them, man. They're so
Just
dumb with it. I don't get. That's the
just
one
in
thing that I never understood with Xbox. It's just so weird.
I mean, we're talking about probably the most modern video game company on the planet in terms of like what they're attempting to do, make their games playable everywhere. Shit, there's all these rumblings that Xbox is coming out with an app for the TV that you can just play games on and stream them. So we're talking about
It's on. I think it's already out.
okay, it is all right. Yeah, so we're
I
talking
think.
about probably the most forward-thinking video game company on the planet in terms of accessibility. And you're telling me they don't want to put a battery pack on the controller? I don't know, man. I don't.
It's
I
yeah,
don't know.
it's weird because like again, like I always just buy battery packs anyways. The only and this is not really a positive, but I'm gonna say it anyways because it's like some people brought this up. It's not really a good positive, but it's a positive nonetheless. But I guess if, for example, your battery goes bad in the remote, you can always replace it. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I've owned a lot of things built in with batteries, and not a lot of them have went bad. So that's a very, very,
Well, we have lost the Birdman, Logan Bergman. But what he was saying is, yeah,
very,
I
very,
agree.
very. That's why I like
You're back.
what?
You kind of dropped off
Oh,
there, so
really?
yeah.
Oh, I was like, you started talking when I was talking. I'm like,
No, you're good.
what?
You just you were in the
um.
middle of your 18th very, and then it cut off.
Oh, well, yeah. It's really dumb. It's not really big. It's not really a big plus if you heard what I said. And yeah, I mean that's why I like my Elite controller. That thing, I charge it and it lasts like over a week. It's insanely good, but it also costs insanely a lot. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's Xbox really just needs to make controllers with batteries built in. I don't get it.
Number 6 on Around the Point, we, as the English brother, as always, we go through the list of the top selling games each and every month as reported by the MPD group, this time for July 2022. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a new number 1. Multiverses is the new number 1, knocking Elden Ring off its crown for the month of July 2022. The whole list of top 10 goes like this: Multiverse is at number 1, Elden Ring at number 2, Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga at number 3, Xenoblade Chronicles 3 coming in at number 4, Call of Duty Vanguard up from number 11 to number 5, go fucking figure, MLB The Show 2022 up from 4 to number 6, wait, down, that's how math works. Mario Kart 8 somehow still sells at number 7. Digimon Survive, the new game, coming in at number 8. Minecraft at number 9. And rounding out the top 10 for July 2022 is F1 2022. So, Logan, your favorite game of all time finally gets knocked off its podium. What do you think about that?
Which I'm kind of curious in what they're measuring their sales on, because I mean, Multiverses is a free to play game.
I think
So
it's
like, what are they
just.
selling?
I think it's
Are they
just.
selling the free?
I guess it's just the amount of people that have downloaded it. So yeah, but maybe they. No, it's got to be some sort of revenue. So maybe people are spending a lot of money on multiverses. I don't know. Or maybe it is just copies
I
sold
mean, I
and
could
it's
see
kind of a
that.
little. It's kind of a little skewed in that way if that's how they're doing it. Because yeah, it's just a free download. Like you just download it.
That's
So
why I don't understand, because like I'm sure there's a lot of free to play games that are above Elden Ring because they're all free. So you
I mean,
download them and clearly you'll have it now. But
we
I don't know.
we do know from its first week, Multiverses is the most played fighting game of all time. I think it topped. Excuse me. I think it topped out at 120 to 130,000 concurrent players on Steam. So that's not even including the console players. So yeah, it's probably, well, not probably. It is the most popular fighting game of all time at launch. So good on it. Yeah, I am a little confused of how they're measuring this title as in comparison to something like Elden Ring or something like Xenoblade, or that actually has some sort of financial sales going on. But whatever. Either way, congratulations to the Multiverses. It seems people like it. I like it. You like it. So keep on getting on.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. It's pretty cool. I'm kind of sad that after last episode got on, no Rick. It's a little like, oh,
No, he comes out the
okay.
23rd, so he comes out Tuesday.
I thought it. Oh, so Rick and Morty are coming out to it. I thought it was
No,
just
no,
Morty.
no. Just wait. Is Morty in the game?
Yeah. So Rick's a character and Morty's going to be a fighting. Both
Well,
of them
yeah.
are going to be
I
separate
know they're
fighting
different,
characters.
but I thought the first one launches on the 23rd and the next one follows. I'm pretty sure none of them are in the game yet.
No, because I checked and they're not in there. Nothing.
Yeah,
So I was like,
so
oh,
the
okay,
first one
I'll
comes
wait.
out on the 23rd, so this Tuesday. I think it's Morty is coming first. Let me double check.
What's even more confusing, by the way, is that they even have the new mode in there either yet. I went on there and looked for the arcade mode. Doesn't exist. So I don't know what they added other than the battle pass, and that's it.
Yeah,
I don't even think they even added a new map.
Morty will come on August 23rd.
Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
not too bad. That's
So
literally this
Tuesday.
week. So
Yeah, it's Tuesday. So maybe we'll jump in. I know you'll be busy with a certain game, but
yes.
maybe we'll jump in, maybe we won't. Who the hell knows? It's a mystery. You'll find out next week. Tune in. And
On the next episode of Dragon Ball.
uh
No.
dude, I miss
Yeah.
things like that. So all right, number 7 on Around the Point. We're gonna dig into some Call of Duty news here. Sorry, some Activision news here for a while. Something we didn't get a chance to bring up last week, but it happened again this week, so perfect chance. Call of Duty has been accused of plagiarism multiple times in some of their new skins. Last week was a dog skin. This week was some kind of thing that was related to What's his name? Doc fucking
Doctor Disrespect. Yeah.
yeah, Doctor Disrespect. Apparently, it's linked to his new game in some regard. So I'm gonna be honest. I don't know how much we have to say about this, other than the fact that stop copying people and make your own shit, please. I don't know if you've looked into any of this or you've done any research on what's going on here or what they're doing, but it's kind of like point blank. Like, it's not like they're like, oh, this was a mess up. We didn't realize the similarities. It's like, well, the similarities are the fact that they're exactly the same character. It's like, there's no if, and, or buts
I
about it.
will
Like,
say,
go ahead.
I will say the
No,
second one. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
no, absolutely.
Second one, I kind of disagree on. Yes, it's a skull face, but it's not even the same kind of skull face. Now the wolf one
The dog
is
one?
100% one for one. Yeah,
Yeah.
the dog one is 100% one for one. Like that one, I 100% believe is truly plagiarism. That one looks so insanely close. This one does not. It really doesn't.
I
You
mean,
look at all the pieces, the face. Yes, it's a skull mask under a hood. It doesn't look the same as that picture right there, and I don't agree with that. That is not much of a copy. Now, it's kind of close, but is it the same to the where it could be plagiarism? I don't think that's going to go through. I don't think that's plagiarism. It's close, but it's not. The
yeah,
wolf one, yes,
I
that's
think it's
plagiarism.
I think it's close enough to the reason it's happening is because it just happened with the dog one. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know the names of this one. Says Tracer Pack Malware Ultra Skin, whatever the fuck any of that means. But I think the only reason we're hearing about this is because it's coming literally a week after they clearly 100% plagiarized another skin. So people were just kind of open to the idea of it happening, and because that Doctor Disrespect game got its first trailer and people are really hyped, so there's some eyes on it. So there's just eyes everywhere. So I do think it's close enough, to be linked together. Like I think the color scheme and obviously the skull and the face and all that. It's close enough to be linked together to where there could be some questionable things happening, especially considering, coming, as I said, the week after the dog pack. So, Floof Fury, whatever that means.
Yeah,
So, that
that
one's
one, like,
that
I
one's rough.
honestly am kind of surprised there's no lawsuit against that, 'cause, like, that is beyond, like, I looked at him like, wow, they literally ripped off this picture. Like, it's so unbelievably similar. Like, even I'm deep in the picture, but like they picked out all the parts and it's like literally the same. So it's, yeah, that's I don't get how a multi-billion dollar industry let this come through in the first place. Like, it's so dumb. I kind of hope the artist. I don't care about the Doctor Disrespect one because that one's not close enough. But the Wolf one, I hope that whoever the artist is gets some money because, like, I'm sure they're selling that skin and they're making money, and I hope they get sued for it and they lose some money
Well, that's one
because
thing that I wanted to kind of put the stop sign up in. There's some questions about who designs these skins and what happens, because as far as I've read into is some of these artists don't work exclusively or directly with Call of Duty Vanguard. They upload their ideas and then they go through. Sorry, Activision. I said Call of Duty Vanguard. I meant Activision. So there seems to be some sort of dissent between the two parties, is where Activision is like, hey, he just gave this to us and it is what it is and it's his fault, not ours, which I can understand to a point, but also in the same point, you're an $8 billion per year company, maybe do some research here and there. So
well, there's also a thing in the biz called quality check, and you know that's what you got to do before you put out a product. So
actually,
honestly,
sir, let me straighten my glasses in here. It's called quality assurance, QA, bitch.
ah, but
I,
yeah, like come on, they're a multi-billion dollar company. If it's not them making it, still you check it for it. You check like, oh, does this look like something else? You know, like you have literally all these different employees. I'm sure you have someone that checks over these things.
1,800 we
So
learned last week. 1,800 employees work on Call of Duty. Fucking
yeah,
ridiculous. How the hell does so many people
and
work on one game
well,
and it
and
still
they didn't
sucks?
they take away all the Tony Hawk people to put on Call of Duty 2 now and everything. So yeah, they have pretty much everything becoming Call of Duty. Activision's basically becoming Call of Duty.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think Activision is Call of Duty. I don't think there's really any separating the two entities from one another. Um, Either way, to wrap it all up,
So
if you're the artist that drew this, and then inputted it for approval, come up with some fresh ideas. And if you're Activision that approved this, do your fucking research. So I'm gonna blame both of them because someone had to draw it and then someone had to approve it, and they're kind of both at fault here. Probably Activision more at fault because they are the publisher, but still the person who drew it and the person who went ahead and was like, "Yep, this is my own idea. No one else has this." Maybe get better at your job. Just an idea. So there you go. I'm Switzerland. What else you got? Oh, he's just completely gone. Got it. Hopefully he'll come back in. Number 8 on Around the Point. We've got new information on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's campaign, and that is, in fact, that it will launch 1 week early for digital pre-orders only. It says Activision is releasing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's single-player campaign more than a week early to those who digitally pre-order the game only. Announced over on the Call of Duty website, the promotion offers unrestricted access to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2's campaign on October 20th, well ahead of the official October 28th release date. The early access is available through any digital pre-order of the game, meaning on PS4 and PS5 through the PlayStation Store, on Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S through the Microsoft Store, and on PC either Steam or Battle.net. So, Logan, I want to take some time and get your opinion on whether you think this is a good thing or a bad thing, and the fact that it's just so weird the way they're releasing this game in disparate parts and only to digital pre-orders of the game. I don't know, man. I just read up on all this stuff and I'm like, why not just release the game and everyone can play it at the same time? Like, why are you going to give early access or weeks early access to digital pre-orders of the game and have the chance that this complete story and anything that happens can get ruined or spoiled of anybody who simply just wants to buy the physical version of the game? Now, I know you're not a physical game buyer yourself like I am, but I don't know. I just thought this was a weird ass decision by Activision, and I don't really know what good or why they're doing this other than to boost their pre-order numbers in a meaningful capacity. So I just wanted to get your opinion on this and see if you were as taken aback by this as I was.
Um, I mean, I think this is really exciting. I think this is a cool pre-order thing because it actually might make me want to pre-order it so that I can play the campaign a week early. Because then I can kind of get a feel of the game and actually, I'm really excited for this campaign. Like, very very excited. I like 2019 campaign. I know you're not fully into it. But for me, this is a big deal. I do think it's a little strange. I just don't really know, other than I really just don't know how they could do it. Well, they could do it with the physical people if they allowed them to, like, when they pre-ordered, to get a code maybe to where they can download the campaign and play it that way.
See, that would be
But again,
fine,
that seems like a very
but they've
weird way of
announced
doing it. But
it's only
yeah.
for digital pre-orders of the game, which is the only thing, is the only information that I kind of find a hiccup in. And it's like you're sectioning off an entire percentage, whether that be a large percentage or a small percentage, it doesn't matter. It's still a percentage of your player base, and opening up to, anything cool or anything that could happen within the campaign. If you don't want to buy it digitally, well, you run the risk of, do I want this spoiled? Do I have to stay off YouTube, TikTok, all these things to not get anything neat or cool spoiled? It's like, if God of War would come out and you get early access to it if you buy the digital version, and that game's hugely based on story, which so is the campaign of Call of Duty Modern Warfare. People are excited to find out what happens in it. and you run the risk of, seeing Kratos dead on a YouTube thumbnail, and it's like, well, fuck, the game's not even out yet, and I just got it spoiled for me. So that's just, I guess I'm hypersensitive to the spoilers, so I just thought it was a weird decision, and then they're coming out with Warzone like a month later, and it's just like, I don't know. It just seems so staggered to me that I question the reasonings behind it and um the underlying I can't think of the word, but the underlying reasonings behind why they're staggering this out, and it could just be to extend the marketing push and the media coverage of the game for multiple months as you have these different things comes out. I don't know. Maybe I'm barking up a tree. I don't know.
I do think they probably could find a way to do this, but I don't know if they're just too lazy to do so. Because I feel like you could do it. Like again, as I said, the idea of just like maybe having like how any other pre-orders work. They like when you pre-order the game, you get like a code, put the code in, and then you download like something separate. And it's like it's kind of like how betas are. You download the betas, and after that certain while, it stops. Just says thank you for playing the beta. But then how that will work, you'll say thank you for playing the early access campaign, and then after that, you can delete that program and never have to use it again. I think that could work. Um, but again, will they ever do that? Probably not. I do think it is a little weird that they are keeping it like it's split between the digital pre-orders and that. I don't know if it's also just. I think it's just a huge push for maybe just digital pre-orders in general. Because I mean, clearly, digital does cost probably a lot less for these developers to do. But I mean,
Oh,
they also
absolutely.
have the
I mean,
money, so they don't really have an excuse. So it's kind of like I don't know. I'm not saying it's a good thing. They could find a way. I think it is pretty dumb that they're doing this, but also I understand why they're kind of doing it because then, they're pushing digital pre-orders by a lot. And that's probably how I'm going to pre-order it anyways because I don't really care to have a physical of this game and I don't really have a lot of physicals anyways anymore. So I mean, most games anymore, I just get digitally. So, but that just for the people that do get physical, I do think it is pretty dumb because then you don't actually get that pre-order content that they say that you're going to get. So it's stupid.
I don't know, but do you kind of get what I'm saying with like the God of
Oh no,
War
I get it.
simile and all that? Like it would
Yeah.
suck if like something happened because like you and I are tapped into YouTube, tapped into TikTok, and the likelihood that we're gonna see something in those 8 days that maybe we didn't want to see is probably fairly high. And I would expect most people who play Call of Duty on a year-to-year basis and are excited about this game and plan on getting it as early as possible are in the same boat. And someone like me who does have a physical collection, he is pretty proud of. I'm plus 300 games now throughout Xbox, PlayStation 3, 4, and 5. And I am pretty proud of it. And I do want to play this game. And I do want to have this game as a disc. I have every other Call of Duty other than Vanguard and Black Ops. Oh, sorry, Cold War on physical. And I want to
No,
keep
that's
that.
right. It's Black Ops Cold War. You got it.
Yeah. And I do want to keep that trend going, and I do want to play this game. So now I'm kind of like stuck. It's like, well, shit. Well, I don't know. I was kind of.
I mean, you weren't going to get this game anyways until it's on sale because you won't want to play Warzone. All
Well,
right.
yeah, I do, but like I'm
Yeah.
well aware of how excited you and DJ are and about this game. So depending on the reception of Gotham Knights and how that's received, I was actually thinking about getting this game day one and being able to play with you guys on some of the multiplayer and getting through the campaign so we could talk about it on here together and have be a part of that conversation. So I'm not in the situation that I am now that I'm 3 years out and trying to play through the original Modern Warfare campaign, trying to still have that same kind of reverence for it that people did when it first came out. And I feel like I'm kind of trying to
Yeah.
push myself. So I do want to avoid that same scenario, and I do want to be a part of you and DJ's conversation and everything when this game comes out and give my opinion and be able to play some of the modes with you guys and hear how you guys respond to it, because I don't really care what we play. I don't give a shit. But I know you guys are very excited, and I want to be a part of that. And now I'm faced with this scenario. It's like, what do I keep my trend going and wait till this game comes out on the 28th to play it after you're probably already going to be done with it. You're already going to be on to other
Yeah,
things.
I guarantee as soon
Yeah.
as the first day it pops up, dude, I'm getting on that campaign. I'm
So I
beating
mean,
it.
yeah, I feel bad for people like me, and that's why I was like, me personally, I'm like, man, that's kind of sucks because like I wanted to be a part of that conversation when it all came out day one. Sat down and I have a week and plus to play it before God of War comes out. I was really excited all that, and now I'm kind of left out to dry here, being a physical purchase game guy, which I understand is a dying breed. I get that. I know eventually, well, probably eventually I'm gonna have to go all digital, and I have transferred over to buying some games digitally because I like the convenience of not having to get off my sofa and I can sit my fat ass in one spot and switch to game. That is nice, but there is still that reverence for the physical games that I have, and I was kind of not like hurt or anything like that. I was just kind of like, man, you're kind of just like leaving me out to dry for what I can only consume what I can only consider to boost your pre-order numbers. That's the only reason I think of it existing, and I don't exactly see that as a good thing personally.
I mean, that's fair. Again, yeah, I think if they really truly wanted to, they could have made something for this. But again, I think, yeah, clearly this is just a big push for digital pre-orders, and it's it's clearly gonna work no matter what. Um, but yeah, it does suck for the physical people because like it just doesn't. They could have clearly done something with this, and the people that still get physicals are probably still very excited to play the campaign. They would love to play it a week early, and now they don't get that chance. It's kind of weird and dumb, but again, it also kind of makes business sense that they're trying to basically push digital pre-orders, which, yeah, so.
Yeah. All right. Number what the fuck number are we at now? Number 9 on Around the Point. The Black Ops 4 story mode got leaked, and we have some details. Wanted to talk about this last week, but couldn't get around to it. So I wanted to get your opinion on whether you thought this was a good campaign idea or not. So a little bit of information that we have, I have it pulled up right here. So it says the campaign was reportedly set in the 27 set in 2070 during the Year of Chaos, whatever that means, and followed on from the events of Black Ops 3. A global pandemic and several climate disasters reduced the world order to two main factions: the World United Nations, also known as the One, and the Free People's Army, known as the FUPA. And the player would choose which to fight for. Though also playable solo, the game would revolve around a 2v2 race to the finish mechanic, with the world state changing depending on which teams accomplish their goals first, essentially producing a number of different campaign experiences depending on performance and faction. One mission, for example, called Data Control, saw the FUPA infiltrate a data center in Zurich, Switzerland to extract critical information and naturally have players take down a number of enemies while doing so. The reverse perspective mission, however, saw the One infiltrate the lower parts of that facility and plant charges to destroy it. If the One players could do so before the FUPA data was extracted, the entire facility would be destroyed and the One would take the victory. So I want to get your opinion on this. I thought this sounded like a really, really cool idea. Um, Again, I'm very sad to see that it didn't come to fruition. Mostly because Sledgehammer can't make a game good enough, and Treyarch had to go first. I firmly believe that's the only reason why this game's single player campaign. Oh wait, no, that was Cold War that happened with, right?
What?
I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm just sad that I didn't get a chance to play this because this sounds awesome. What do you think?
I think it's a really unique idea, really cool. It almost seems like what they're kind of going for was kind of like how Last of Us One multiplayer was, where you had the like when you do missions, it boosts up your like kind of like your score for your team and everything and etc. Or I guess a better example is like For Honor and etc. It seems weird. They didn't really talk about if there was like any characters. It just seemed more like you're just a part of this army. You have a mission to do. You go do that mission. If you do good, then your team scores a point, which does sound really cool. It sounds very unique in a sense. I mean, I've seen this done kind of before, but not in the campaign format to where it's like a whole story.
Yeah,
So
I
I
thought
wonder
the
if it's
idea
more
of
like,
like a 2v2 multiplayer campaign was pretty interesting, and honestly, I have never heard anything like that
It would
before.
be super cool though, yeah, like just like a multiplayer thing where like you're like so you have your team and you have their team, and it's not like a multiplayer match, but it's like an actual campaign event. And it, oh man, this you know what this sounds like to me?
What's
Have you
that?
ever played Call of Duty World War II?
Yes, I didn't like it.
Yeah, yeah, okay. Do you know the war mode?
Yeah, the thing that kind of ripped off of Battlefield in a way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, kind of. It didn't have any vehicles or anything. It was more just like
Okay, you know what I mean.
yeah. It was like a tug of war kind of thing.
Yeah,
That's what this kind of sounds like to me. It sounds like basically what it is it probably wasn't going to be much of a campaign, but it was going to be a serviceable campaign where it was 2v2 and it was kind of like the war mode from World War II, and it's a matter of who wins that match, I guess I would call it, or whatever you want to call it, mission match. It sounds like this game wasn't going to go for the more cinematic, but it almost seems like they were trying to go back to the classic Call of Duty with this, you know? Kind of like how like Medal of Honor was and all that, where it's more like open ended, and it seems like they just kind of drop you into this map, I would per se, or battlefield or etc. And you do these 2v2 battles, and whoever wins that 2v2 battle pushes forward in the campaign and they get that boost up. Or I guess if you want to play alone, you could just have, they'll probably be bots, I would assume. And yeah, however you perform is how it will go to the next thing. So that's how it kind of sounds to me, which sounds cool if they could do it right. But also, if you look at it from the other end, it also sounds like it could be really, really bad because it's not the same thing that most people love Call of Duty for, is for their cinematic moments in that. And I don't think you would really get a lot of that in that game. So I don't know. It's like a 50-50. It sounds really cool, sounds really unique, but it also sounds like a lot of other things I've heard with like Call of Duty World War II, for example, and all that, where it's literally a tug of war situation, and it's taken away what makes Call of Duty most of their campaigns, at least anymore. I can't really say much about their like first two games, but it almost seems like they're trying to go back to the classics, but try something new with a tug of war kind of thing, but it won't have the cinematic touch, but more of like a classic kind of storytelling thing where there's still a story being told. But I don't know. It's kind of what
yeah,
actually reminds me of. Have you ever heard a game called Brink?
yeah. The old
That's exactly
Epic
what
game.
it reminds me of what you're saying.
Yeah, it seems like
Because
more of a back end functional story. I kind of like the idea that you threw out a little earlier of campaign events, where like, oh, this week is the new campaign event, so like there's this mission that you and your friend can now tackle, and that furthers your campaign details. So yeah,
yeah,
it
that'd be
sounds
cool.
different. It sounds interesting. I would have liked seen it come to, I said, fruition and just see it. Also, just as you said, could have easily sucked and flopped like no other, and people are like, this is the worst idea I've ever seen for a Call of Duty campaign. Where's my explosion? So who knows? Thought it was an interesting idea. Wanted to get your perspective on it. Moving on now to number 10 on Around the Point, our last bit of Activision news. Toys for Bob seems to be teasing a new game. Well, their next game. In a post on Twitter, they put a screenshot of a wall picture thing or anything that has all their games on it that they worked on, and the very last thing is a bunch of question marks. So, uh, wanted to get your opinion. Well, I don't know, maybe not your opinion. You never played the Crash Bandicoot games or anything like that, did you?
Oh, I did. I
Okay.
mean, the one of the first. Well, so I hadn't played them in a long while. I remember my dad got the collection on his PS4, and I remember one night we hang down, we played some of them again. But as a kid, I did play Crash Bandicoot on the. Well, so I played it on the PS2 through PS1 emulation, and I played Crash Bandicoot 1 on there, and I think I've also played the third game, and I've never played any of the other ones. I haven't played the remasters yet. I want to. I think I have them either on Game Pass or I got them through Gold or something like that. So I've been tempted to do that, and I know PlayStation had it on PlayStation Plus recently. It gave you Crash Bandicoot 4, so I've been kind of wanting to play that too as well.
Yeah, I hope this is a new Spyro game. You know, if you go through the list here, they did Skylanders, Trap Team, Skylanders, Imaginations, and the Spyro Reignited trilogy. Then they came out with the Crash 4, sorry, with Crash Bandicoot 4, the new game. So I kind of hope, oh, I desperately hope this is a brand new Spyro game in the same vein as Crash 4. But I'm also just really happy to see that they didn't get sucked up into the Call of Duty fucking black hole that is Activision. Now, they did have a hand in Season 3 of Call of Duty Warzone, which would actually maybe explain why that wasn't the best thing ever, because you had the guys making Crash Bandicoot also making Call of Duty. Don't know if those two things cross over very well. Uh, so I'm glad that there's still this chance, and it seems like a foregone conclusion that they are actually going off and making something that they want to make. So I hope it's a Spyro game. Um, and just wanted to get your opinion on what you hope it is and what you think it may be.
If it's anything that shows that they made a new Crash Bandicoot, I could see a new Spyro. I really could. I think clearly since they're bringing Bash back, not Bash, they're bringing back Crash Bandicoot in a sense. I don't know if they're going to keep making a lot more of them. I do believe a new Spyro is in order, and I could definitely see a new one coming out. I'm not a big fan of Spyro, even as a kid. And even I watched you play it on the PS4 at one point when we were down in college, I believe.
Love
Uh,
Spyro, man.
I'm not a big Spyro fan. I think the new remaster looked beautiful, by the way, but like I'm not a big Spyro person. I much prefer Crash Bandicoot, but I do think for the Spyro fans out there, this would be really cool. And honestly, it makes sense because I mean, clearly they brought back Crash Bandicoot, so I would think they would bring back Spyro, but maybe that's just me thinking maybe that they're trying to bring back all these games. Maybe it's just another Crash 5. Or
Or would be
they're gonna
another
go
Crash 5.
crazy.
Be the first Crash
Are
5.
gonna make are they gonna make what?
So it wouldn't be another Crash 4, it'd just be Crash 5.
Well, that's yeah, it'll be Crash 5. But I was also wondering maybe they're gonna go even more crazy and they're gonna do something wild with Crash Bandicoot. Maybe make like a Mario Odyssey Crash Bandicoot, I guess. I don't know. Who knows?
No. I hope
No.
not. That sounds
Yeah.
terrible. Keep Crash and Spyro separate. Not everything has to be Mario. Not everything has to be Call of Duty. God damn it. Keep the shit separate. I hate that everything has to be fucking a live action. God damn it, a live service. Anyway, keep my shit separated. That's what I
You know,
wanted to say.
actually, a missing opportunity for Call of Duty.
What's
They
that?
clearly have Crash and Spyro, but they don't make any Call of Duty skins of Crash or Spyro. Wouldn't it be? I know this sounds really dumb.
Oh
Wouldn't it be
no,
kind
dude,
of
that'd be
funny to
awesome.
see a Crash or a Spyro in Warzone
I don't know how Spyro would
like,
work, but Crash would definitely work.
well, they could probably find like a skin to put around an operator to make it look like that, or they just straight up go crazy and they make a full blown just Crash and then a full blown Spyro. I don't know. I mean, they made Godzilla and King Kong,
That's true.
so I
Yeah.
think they can make
Fair
it.
enough, I guess.
They can make a. It'd be pretty funny.
You know what? Yeah, instead of
But
this
that's what I'm
dog
gonna
thing,
say.
and why don't they just make a Spyro costume instead of the dog costume?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah, I got you.
People would buy it.
All right, final update on Around the Point. New game announcements for you. The new Tales from the Borderland game leaks with an October release date, and oddly, it's literally called New Tales from the Borderlands. So this is coming directly from Gearbox and 2K. Apparently a sequel, not apparently, it is a sequel to the 2014 originally developed Telltale games. This is a game that both Logan and I are very excited about. Don't have any information on this as of yet. I'm expecting we'll see this in a couple days, coming up here in the Gamescom opening night live. The listing says October 21st, so coming right out, going taking on Gotham Knights and Call of Duty and everything else that's going on there. So real quick, you excited about this? You ready to play it? What's up?
Oh yeah, no, I'm very excited to play this game. I would think this is going to be a sequel after Borderlands 3. Maybe they're going to bring the group back together. I don't know. But I am very excited about it. Curious though how it's going to be done because it's not made by the same people. Isn't it made by the actual Gearbox Studios, correct?
Well, no, it's made by Gearbox, yeah. So,
Yeah, so I'm curious to
but
see how that's going to go.
I believe, I mean, I'm fairly confident this is going to be just another Tales from the Borderlands, the same vein that we saw Telltale. I was wrong, by the way. We do have a little bit of new information. It says players will decide the fate of altruistic scientist Anu, her ambitious streetwise brother Octavia, and the fierce Frogut slinging Fran, whatever that means. With nothing left to lose and everything to gain, you'll claw and con your way through this thrilling 5-part story. And I think that obviously the 5-part story is the biggest clue we have to the fact that this is just going to be another Tales from the Borderlands, just in the same vein as the Telltale games. And I'm excited, but I'm also skeptical if they can create as good a characters as Telltale did with their original games. But I look forward to this anyway, and obviously I'm excited about it. I added it to my fantasy critics list. Um, yeah, so I don't know if we have much else to say about this other than the fact that we talked about this a couple episodes ago, and we're both excited for it. We're both ready for it. Both like the original Tales from the Borderlands, and I'm excited to see what this is going to be. Obviously, it'll look a lot better. That's one thing.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm excited.
Next date, Ghostbusters Spirit Unleashed also gets an October release date, October 18th. For those of you that for those of you that don't know, this is the next game in the long, well, I guess not long, but colorful history of the developer Ilphonic, known for games like Predator Hunting Grounds and Friday the 13th. So this is that 1v4 asymmetric multiplayer game set in the Ghostbusters universe. So, this seems pretty cool. It's not you and I's type of game. I remember when Predator was coming out, I wanted to get the group together and play it. Then the game came out and kind of sucked, so I didn't play it. But hopefully this game is a lot better from what people have said. It seems to be really fun. It seems to be unique. The ghost slash monsters that you're gonna get to play as all seem to have unique abilities and different ways to play with them. We are quickly getting flooded with games in the last couple weeks of October here. You got this game on the 18th, New Tales from the Borderlands on the 21st, Gotham Knight on the 25th, Call of Duty on either the 20th or the 28th, and then quickly followed a week and a half later by God of War. So we're finally putting the pieces together to what the end of the year is going to look like. You going to check this thing out, or are you just going to pay attention to the reception, Logan?
I'm actually kind of excited for this Ghostbusters game. It actually looks super cool and really fun. It actually looks better than that Ghostbuster VR game. Remember that one? Because I'm kind of surprised there's another Ghostbuster game as well coming out. This actually looks like one of those 1v4 games that I would really enjoy. So I'm actually, the more I look at this gameplay, the more excited I am. Actually, this is 100% on my radar now. I'm very excited for this game. It looks so cool.
Cool. Said coming to PS5, PS4. Hopefully it's received well. Uh, well, I guess I don't really care how it's received, but hopefully the people who want this game are excited about this game. I know one Greg Miller of Kind of Funny and IGN fame, super excited, loves Ilphonic games, also loves Ghostbusters. So I've been listening to him rave about this game for an entire year since its announcement last year. And yeah, I'll disagree with you though. I actually think the new VR game looks kind of interesting. I'm more excited about the VR game than I am about this game, but that's just me. So
Hey, hopefully it's cross-platform. If you get PSVR 2, that'd be sick. I'll actually get it then.
yeah, we'll see. We had that discussion on if PSVR games are going to be cross-platform. I don't think they will be based off the technology, but we will see. Next game, a big game. Well, I think it's a big game. Death Stranding has been announced, coming to Xbox PC Game Pass. I don't know if that means it's coming to console Game Pass. It just says Xbox PC
Oh, I think
Game
it's
Pass.
just PC.
You think it's just the
It,
Game Pass on PC?
it's just PC, yeah.
Okay, so
Which
coming is
again, I hate gaming, because literally there's those people out there that don't understand that. They're going to be mighty pissed off whenever they see that it's not coming to Xbox, because it's not. It's not coming to Xbox. I've been seeing a lot of comments on these things on here. No, it's coming to PC. I did not see anything about it coming to Xbox. It's coming to Xbox Game Pass because, instead of just calling it Game Pass and making it easier, they call it Xbox Game Pass, but it's not coming to Xbox. It's coming to PC Xbox Game Pass, not Xbox Game Pass. Or sorry, Xbox Game Pass, not PC Xbox Game Pass. There you go. Because, make stupid names, Microsoft.
To make this even more confusing, it is being published by 505 Games, not Sony. So, brand new publisher on the Xbox PC Game Pass release. However, if you're excited about this, I think good. I originally thought this was coming to Xbox Game Pass on Xbox, not Xbox Game Pass on PC Game Pass, PC,
Xbox
Xbox.
PC Game Pass. That's what it says. I hate this so much. Don't put Xbox in there. Just put PC Game Pass and Xbox Game Pass. Bam, you fixed it. Stupid Microsoft.
Anywho, this is coming on Tuesday, August 23rd. So for people that are excited out there, look forward to getting this. I like this game quite a bit. I think it's a wholly unique video game and unlike anything you've ever played before. Obviously, some people will say, well, yeah, that's because it's nothing else would be this crappy. But I firmly believe that people who don't like this game don't understand it, and I will never break from that standpoint. So look forward to Death Stranding coming Tuesday, August 23rd to Xbox PC Game Pass only, not Xbox Game Pass on console.
You know what makes no sense? It's already on PC. So they're coming out with it again.
But on Game
PC
Pass.
again.
So if you're on PC Game Pass, you can get it without...
Xbox PC Game Pass. I freaking hate it so much.
Hey, that one got me, so I'm right with you. I thought it was just Game Pass, and I was like, I wrote in here, Death Stranding coming to Game Pass.
That they put Xbox in there.
But I'm technically right. It is coming to Game Pass. It's only coming to one version of the Game Pass. It happens to be the version of the Game Pass that I only have access to. So cool, but I've already played Death Stranding, and like you said, if I want it on my PC, I'll just go buy it on my PC. But anyway, let's Marvel's Avengers has announced their next character, and like we all predicted, it is Bucky Barnes is the Winter Soldier. This will come out sometime after September, they've said, so probably February of next year if normal time frames are to be remembered. Don't have too much information on this. All I know is that according to the site, a 2.6 patch will introduce a new story called the Villain Sectors, which isn't new. We've had Villain Sectors since the launch of the game in 2020, so interesting. But it says it will further develop Monica's story as she attempts to reboot MODOK after the events of the main campaign. Whoop, spoiler alert. And then after that, a 2.7 patch will add Bucky Barnes as the Winter Soldier as a new playable character. No information on his new set, or just a snap image of what he could look like. And I will say what I'll always say. I think this is cool, sweet. I'll be there. I'll play the character. I'll level him up all the way, and then I'll roll out onto something else. So I'm not going to turn it over to you, Logan, because I don't really think you have anything to say about Bucky Barnes as the Winter Soldier. Maybe you do. Don't want to make any assumptions. No? Okay. We can move on to the final new game announcement for the week. Call of Duty Warzone announces its 5th and final season. Its 5th and final season will be called Uno Momento. I lost it. Well, I forgot what it is. I had it, I highlighted it, and then I lost it. Anyway, the final season will begin on August 24th, implying the release of Warzone 2 could be right around the corner if normal time frames are to be believed, which is usually 2 to 3 months for a season, which would put that right into the
Last Stand.
Last Stand. Thank you, sir. I had it, I lost it. So Call of Duty 5th and final season, Last Stand, which makes sense to said. So this seems to be the ending of an era in the original Call of Duty Warzone. I know a lot of the YouTubers and Twitchers, is that what they're called? Twitchers? Twitch people are gearing up for the end of it all. So maybe there's something cool in there. I'll be paying attention. But this seems to line up pretty closely to what we all think that Warzone 2 will launch in November, shortly after the release of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. So look forward to that, Call of Duty Warzone players. You'll get the ending of, it says, a game that has lasted 3 years. So congratulations to Call of Duty Warzone. I liked you. I enjoyed you. I can't wait for your sequel. And Logan, do you have anything to say?
Two things. Warzone 2, please come out as a separate entity. Don't be connected to the next Modern Warfare. I hate when they do
Oh,
that.
it's. I mean,
Um,
it's gonna be free to
that's
play,
gonna
right? You can't make the first
yeah,
one
if
free to
it
play and the second one not free to play. People would riot, literally.
no, what I meant by that is I hated how connected Warzone and it's like stuck to the Modern Warfare 2019 game. So
Oh,
like
so like
if
yeah,
you
if
down,
you
it's
if you have
like
to
it's really
download
stuck. Like you
Warzone,
cannot get
yeah,
it off of there.
yeah.
Yeah.
If to
So I
download
like
Warzone,
Warzone
you
as
have
a
to
separate.
download the entirety of Call of Duty. Yeah, yeah, that is annoying.
It's stupid. Because I always hated that. I also hope they don't have as many stupid packs you got to download for the game. I hate that crap. But to get on topic, because that's just dumb things. This looks cool. I guess not gonna play it, but it's cool that they brought all the. Weirdly enough, they just like said, "Oh, hey, let's just bring a bunch of villains back from the other Call of Duties and just like put them as I think skins clearly to buy." So they have like the dude from Black Ops 2. They have
Yeah, the
the
original
guy
villain
from Call of
from
Duty 4.
yeah from like old school 2007. Yeah, and then obviously Call
They
of
had
Duty.
Black Ops 3 girl in there.
Yeah, they
The I
whole
don't even
bunch
know
of
her
people.
name. Yeah, it's yeah,
Um,
pretty cool.
are you talking about? Well, not Gabriel. You said her name. Are you talking about Zareth? Zen? I butchered that, didn't
Probably.
I? I
I think
butchered
that's who
this.
that was.
I guarantee you I butchered that. There's someone in China who is reporting me currently. I don't care. Bring it on. I'll take on the whole Chinese government. I don't give a shit. I ain't got nothing to live for anyway. All right. Anything else you want to talk about, sir?
Nope.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was Around the Point, our weekly news section where we go around the video game world here at the Experience Point and give you all the news that we want to talk about. If there's anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk to, please comment down below. Let us know, and we will engage with you to the best of our abilities. Review route. Sorry, I
Row
stumbled
review
on that.
round.
I was typing
Yeah.
the timestamp at the same time, and I just kind of got lost in what I was doing. So the review roundup for the second week of August 2022 goes as this: Rollerdrome got an 80 on PS5, PS4, and PC. Blossom Tales 2: The Minotaur Prince on Switch and PC got an 80. Kirby's Dream Buffet on Nintendo Switch unfortunately got a 62. Rip to our friend Worthy in the Fantasy Critic League. He got the first dud of the year. So, Curse to Golf came out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC and got a 79. Thymesia, the Dark Souls clone on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch apparently, and PC got a 70. We Are OFK on PS5 and PS4 and PC got a 75. Madden 23 came out on everything and thankfully got a 67. And then Way of the Hunter came out on PS5 and Xbox Series X and S exclusively and PC. I said that weird. Got a 65. Logan, I'm glad that Madden NFL 23 came out and seems to be received well, like it should be. And I'm sad but also happy that Kirby's Dream Buffet flopped like a fucking brick.
Yeah, it's about what I expected. Um, but Rollerdrome, I actually watched some reviews on it. Pretty cool. Really happy that game scored really well. It didn't look that good, but I watched a video on it and wow, it's pretty cool. So I'm really happy to see that
See,
game doing really
I,
good.
I disagree with you. You said it didn't look good. I thought it looked awesome. I thought it looked kinetic, interesting, engaging gameplay. I don't know. Just you and I sometimes have different eyes on games. So
Well, I also think I didn't really look that deep into the game. I looked at the visuals and I'm like, oh, it's a roller skating game. And then I actually looked up, like, I watched a video on it, and it's more than a roller skating game. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool looking. Sad to see Way of the Hunter. I mean, I'm not a big Hunter fan, but like it was like the next big hunting simulator game, and it's kind of sad to see it scored not so great, 65. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's also not great. So And then also Curse the Golf, a weird game that I probably won't play, but looks pretty cool.
I know you
Scored very
were.
well, 79.
Yeah, I know you're interested in it last week, so yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna
Yeah,
pick it up. Another roguelike in a way, so it seemed to be just be getting all the roguelikes in the world.
yeah,
Out this week, August 23rd, Midnight Fight Express on PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and PC. Saints Row, the big one, comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. F1 Manager 2022 comes out on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. On August 25th, SD Gundam Battle Alliance on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. Pac-Man World Repack comes out on PS5 for Xbox Series X and S, Switch, and PC. And then on August 26th, rounding out the week, Soul Hackers 2 on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Logan, you excited about Saints Row?
very excited. Also insanely excited for that Midnight Fight Express game.
Oh
I didn't
yeah?
know it was coming out 23rd. I'm very excited for this game. It looks like a fun uh game with like a lot of challenge levels, and it's basically like a fever dream of like John Wick lovers, or like they have a ton of references in it. It looks super fun, and I'm very excited. It's coming to Game Pass, so I'm definitely downloading that as well day one. Very excited for that game. Also, Soul Hackers, isn't that the same people that made Persona 5, right? That game looks super good too. So, man, this week is packed full of some super exciting games. And weirdly enough, too, the Pac-Man World Repack looks pretty cool too, as well. So, a lot of good games this week, to be honest.
Yeah, Soul Hackers is coming from Atlas, yeah. But there's a bunch of
Yeah,
different outskirts of Atlas. Atlas is a pretty big company. But technically, yes, you are right. Same
yeah.
developer. So, anything else you want to say, sir?
Nope. You have any games you're excited for?
Uh, no. I told you off strain. I've lessened on Saints Row. I'll see how it comes out, but I'm doing other stuff and I'm focused on other stuff right now. Um,
That's fair.
Interested to see how it scores. Said Pac-Man World Repack and all that comes out, so that's all part of now the fantasy league. So obviously I'll be paying attention to how that's received. But I'm not gonna play any of these games. So, but I do. Some of them look good. Some of them look bad. We'll see how it all shapes out at the end. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of our show. Everyone who has either been watching or listening, we just wanted to take this time and thank you. Without your support, we could not be doing what we're attempting to do here. But please help us continue to grow by telling everyone how much you like us, how much you hate us. It doesn't matter. Just get us out there. We would really appreciate it. Any last words, Logan?
Yeah, as always, thank you guys for stopping by. Hope you guys are having a good end to the summer. And if you have kids, I'm sure you're really happy right now. You're finally be able to get rid of them and bring them back to school. And yeah, we have a lot of exciting news to come ahead. We got some big, well, decently big game shows to come. I'll be having some exciting news to talk about next weekend about a certain game that was in that list that I will be playing. Other than that, yeah, have a good one. I'll see you guys in the next show. And oh, almost forgot. I want to say thank you to our Patreon Platinum member, Logan Leffler. As always, we very much appreciate your support. It really helps us. And yeah, thank you so much.
Yep. For those of you out there, probably look out for a two-parter this week. As always, we will go into um, one opening night live by itself in its own separate episode, and then we'll do the regular episode after that. Unless one night live sucks, and then we'll probably just say it sucks. So if you get a part one, know that we have something to say. If you don't, know that we didn't have anything to say. So once again, thanks everyone for listening and following along with us. I hope everyone has a great week, and as always, we'll talk to you all in the next one. See you guys.
See ya.